Hello there, welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show with your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 939. This is 939 of the Agostino Zinga Show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere within the depths of East London. How you doing? How you feeling, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? How you feeling? I'm feeling pretty good. I've got a little loose hair just creeping into my lip there. A little loose hair just creeping into the inside crevices of my lip. I'm looking as rougher. I'm looking as rough as I ever looked, but I'm still regularly trying to trim the edges of my beard. I'm getting a little bit precise. I'm getting a little bit more brave or braver when it comes to the little, the little what do they call it? They call it. Is it called a close cut, clear cut, whatever that thing is called? You know what I mean, right? The little Gillette thing. Or throat, is it cutthroat? Yeah, the cutthroat. I'm getting a little bit more precise. I'm getting a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit braver. My hand isn't shaking as much when I use the cutthroat, so I'm able to just trim little bits and pieces on my beard to kind of keep it looking okay. The next hope, the next frontier will be to line myself up. That'll be the next frontier. Can I line myself up on my hairline? Can I line myself up whilst I'm growing this crazy afro amalgamation I've got going on here, because I don't necessarily feel comfortable just getting my hair braided on the top. I kind of want to get my hair braided on the side. I want to get my whole head braided so that I could just, do that on the regular. But I've got to let the sides grow out. You get me? I don't want to shave the sides again. I want the sides to grow out. But they're taking a while. It's taking a while, I think. Usually my hair grows really quickly, but the sides are taking a while. Maybe it's because of all those years of fucking shaving the sides. They've now decided, hey, we're not growing anymore. We're over it too. We're over it. But I'm looking forward to it. So please excuse my very rough demeanor. I know I look like somebody that should be on a fucking e-bike rolling by you somewhere trying to take your fucking phone as you're on the way to meet your friends at fucking Hackathon. But I'm not that guy. I'm just your friendly neighborhood podcaster, content creator, live streamer, DJ, artist, writer, photographer, male model, chef, and everything else in between. Yeah. And courier, right? Courier. You need a pizza delivered to you, I got you. You need McDonald's delivered to you, I got you. You need fucking, I don't know, groceries delivered to you, I got you. Okay? Cool. Blessed and love, blessed and love, blessed and love. For my people out there who are gainfully employed, well done. For all my people out there who are looking for jobs, good luck. For all my people out there who are gainfully employed and are considering jumping ship because you hate your manager, because the work is too hard, because they want to prove your holidays, because you've got annoying colleagues, because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that. Can I tell you this as a warning? If you listen to me at all, can I tell you this is a slight warning, my loves? Please take a deep breath. Take a deep breath and don't move just yet. Take a deep breath and don't move just yet. Why do I say that? Why do I, Agostino Zinga, the host of the Agostino Zinga Show, the #1 cultural commentary podcast in the world, why do I say that? I say that because of this headline that I saw all over Twitter. Allegedly, according to various news outlets and other people who are way smarter than you and I, just in, the US has now more unemployed people than job openings for the first time since April 2021. Now, I know this concerns the US, it's not exactly UK or Europe news, but I feel like sometimes with certain trends and stuff, the world sometimes follows the US, or sometimes it's opposite, or other way around. But considering what I see on the timeline, considering the activity that I see on the timeline, considering the quickness that people are posting things, right? I'm seeing football accounts posting stories from prominent footballers and putting it on their fucking thing within 21 seconds. If that's the case, then I think a lot of people out there are unemployed. People probably won't admit it because employment and lack of employment and whatever, receiving benefits, is kind of like a taboo. No one likes to talk about it for some reason. It's really odd, but whatever, because those structures, those things are there to help you. So I don't know why you wouldn't talk about it, but I reckon because of the usage, because of the amount of people that I see on social media, especially on my side of Instagram anyway, the amount of people I see, there are way more unemployed people out there than what we know. So if you're employed now and you're looking for a new job, I would say maybe take it easy. maybe wait a little bit. Because if this is true, and there's more unemployed people than job openings in the US, I think that trend will carry over to Europe. I think that trend will make its way over here sooner rather than later, if it hasn't already. This is a really glaring, I think, a really glaring example as to why we are where we are now in society. No one could tell me any different. This is the most glaring example of where we're at right now with society, that there's more unemployed people. There's more unemployed people than fucking job openings. Do you know how fucking scary that is? Do you know how fucking scary that is? Honestly, do you know how fucking scary that is, that there's more unemployed people than job openings? Absolutely crazy. And I've seen it because I've seen people on my timeline say stuff like, oh, I'm looking for anything. People are looking for like jobs in like, you know, supermarkets, delivery stuff. They're not even being picky. They're not even trying to get a job, you know, God forbid them trying to get a job in their actual field of expertise or getting a job based on what they studied. They just want any form of employment that pays them a steady paycheck. And they're still struggling to get it. People are struggling to get. Remember during the pandemic, McDonald's were like offering crazy hourly wages. Do you remember that, right? McDonald's are offering crazy hourly wages to get people to come and work for them. Now I've heard people say they cannot even get a callback from fucking McDonald's. McDonald's isn't even giving a callback. So if you're out there and you're looking to move and go elsewhere, I would definitely recommend you take a breath, you have a breather and you just relax, because the job market is looking kind of shaky. Let's actually read the article that kind of explains a little bit further what's going on here, courtesy of Unusual Wales. The US has now more unemployed people than job openings for the first time since April 2021. The US job openings fell more sharply than expected in July as the labor market adjusted to President Trump's trade and immigration policy. So the job market that's going on at the moment, the lack of jobs that are available, is directly tied to Trump. Directly tied to Trump. But will you hear some of these comedy podcasters ask him that if they ever get to interview him again? No. Is his base worried about it for some reason? No. So that's a very interesting thing, because I'm somebody that can put aside all of the antics. I could even put aside some of the fucking abuses, because I think basically anybody in a really higher up level of fucking power is going to have some level of allegations against them, or most likely be guilty of said abuse claims or said abuse crimes. I can put that switch aside. But the interesting thing about Trump for me and America, or just in general in politics, is forget his behavior, forget his attitude, forget how he speaks to people. It's the stuff that he does, policies that he enacts, that affect real people, that for some reason his base doesn't seem to give a shit about. You know? I think the last thing I remember the right-wingers or the Republicans giving a shit about his base was when that story came out that Trump was looking to extend H-1B visas or something along those lines to basically allow more immigrants to come into the country, obviously to bolster Silicon Valley, bolster the economy. But people like, people who believe in the America First thing and think those jobs will be coming back to America, especially the Republicans, they're looking at it thinking, hold on, I don't have a job. I'm struggling to get a job. And now here you are making it easier for people that come from places like India, places like Japan, China, whatever it may be, to come over here and thus taking the jobs that I would basically try to get, because obviously they're far more skilled and you get to pay them cheaper, because that's another part people don't mention either. Yes, they're getting those guys and girls over here, but they're also paying them far less than what they would pay their American counterpart or the American citizen. So that's the only time I heard from his base a bit of pushback, like, what the fuck? I thought you meant to be America First. But usually, for some reason, I don't know how he does it. And that's a talent that I think the Democrats have to figure out how to do. How is it that this guy doesn't get any stick from his base about the policies that he enacts that affect real people, that affect real middle class, working class people? You know, like, it's just an interesting part of it. Like, no one seems to give a fuck. Like, his presidency, as this article pointed out, right? The US job openings fell more sharply than expected in July as the labor market adjusts to President Trump's trade and immigration policies. So his trade and immigration policies has having an adverse effect on the job market, to the point where there's more unemployed people in America right now than there are job openings. But nobody's rioting in the streets. Nobody's fucking going crazy. But God forbid Cracker Barrel changes its logo. God forbid Cracker Barrel changes their logo. God forbid Cracker Barrel give their restaurants a fucking makeover. Very ugly one, don't get me wrong, but God forbid they do that. Everybody now is rioting. But this guy enacts changes that are affecting real people in their pocket, their future, their present, their family, their life goals, and everyone's just like, la-di-di-di-da-da. That's a talent, bro. The Democrats have to figure out how to do that with whoever they choose. Newsom, whoever. Because that's the real thing that he is special at. Yes, the crimes, all this stuff, yeah, that's whatever. But I think the ability to hurt people that he's meant to be helping and then not get called out for it, you gotta salute. The Labour Department JOLT survey reported that 7.2 million job openings, down from 7.4 million in June, below the forecast of 7.3 to 7.5. Jesus Christ. For the first time since 2021, unemployed Americans, there's 7.24 million unemployed Americans right now. Now outnumber the average jobs at 7.18. God damn it. The July JOLTS report showed further signs of softening labour markets conditions, wrote Oxford Economics lead Oxford Economics lead and US economist Nancy Vaden-Houston, noting that the openings to unemployed ratio dipped below 1.0 for the first time in over 4 years. Private sector openings declined for the second straight month, falling to 6.4, with the healthcare and social assistance losing 181,000 openings. Arts and entertainment is down by 62,000, and mining and logging down 13,000. New hires edged slightly higher to 5.3 million, whilst quits held steady at 3.2, keeping the rates at 2.0. The latest numbers follow a weak July jobs report. That report prompted Trump to fire the Labour Department's chief statistician, calling the data rigged without offering evidence. Despite, of course it is, of course. Classic Trump, innit? Anything that makes me look bad is rigged. Anything that makes me look bad is fake news. Anything, like, honestly, it's actually, I actually like that, because now I've been getting into watching more, like, I don't know, scammer YouTube content, you know? I've been getting into watching more scammer YouTube content. I'm actually admiring people who live a life of just pure scamming, pure fraud, because some of them have the confidence, like, their confidence is out, means no bounds. It's fucking incredible. But I love how they talk, the things that they say, you know? How the little mind control, the little hypnosis things that they say. But what I love most about them is their reality distortion field. Whatever they say reality is, that's what reality is. They don't ever acknowledge what you're saying. Whatever they're saying is the reality. That's the thing that I like. So with Trump, if everything you say, if what you say about me is wrong, then it's rigged or it's a fucking fake news. Nothing else. And I'm not going to offer you any information. I'm not going to give you proof to back up my point. You're the one that brought it up. I didn't bring it up. You brought it up that I was lying. So I'm just saying I'm not. But I'm under no obligation to show you proof that I'm lying. That's a very fucked up and clever thing to do. That report prompted Trump to fire Labour Department's chief statistician, calling the data rigged without offering evidence, and the most criticized economists across the spectrum. Despite slowing down job sex creation, unemployment remains relatively low at 4.2%. Still, Fed Chair Jerome Powell recently warned that both demand and supply for labour are weakening in tandem, a rare situation that raises the risk of sudden layoffs. Economists also cautioned that Trump's immigration crackdown is compounding labour shortages. The American Enterprise Institute projects net migration in 2025 will fall by about 205,000, citing a dramatic decrease in inflows and somehow higher outflows, a trend that they say may outweigh the overall US economic output on the coming year. So, you know, I guess in part they explain that this is in part due to maybe the US's over-reliance on immigration, but that's also one of those kind of unintended consequences, right? People don't realize that if you do start cutting immigration, yes, you're going to maybe potentially bring back jobs to the US, but you then are going to affect the economy, you know? It may be long-lasting effects as well that you can never really recover from. So I guess it's one of those type of things you kind of have to do if you're a Republican, because that's a huge part of what they're about, being anti-immigration and shit, but it's going to have some adverse effects. But yeah, man, mad situation, isn't it? Mad situation. I personally also, I've kind of been the person, I'm sure some of you guys are the same, but I've always been the person when it comes to jobs anyway. I think it's very, very wise for you, if you're thinking of leaving, to never leave a job before you secured another one. I think most people know this, right? I don't have to say this because I think most people know this, but just in case people don't, you should really never leave a job until you found another one. Most of the reason why I think you do that is that obviously there's a superstitious element to it, but I think the main reason why I think you shouldn't ever leave your job until you secured another one is mostly because if you've been gainfully employed, I can tell you, having been looking in the past for jobs for a long time and end up finding one, the time when you're unemployed looking for jobs, people really don't talk about how mentally challenging it is, how stressful it is. And again, this is a person like myself, like, I don't really like to talk about, I'm not stressed. I don't get stressed. I'm a very even-keeled person. I'm not emotional in that respect. I rarely cry. I'm a little bit of a, I just go in Brendan Schaub's way, right? But even I can say, the time that I was going through my period where I left my previous job, I've got 5 from my previous job, and I was trying to look for another job, it does tricks your mental, especially if you've been gainfully employed. If you've been unemployed from time to time, you probably won't hurt you. But if you've been employed for a while and you're looking for a new job and you quit your current job to look for that other one, like, honestly, a week can feel like a month with no reply. And most of you know, you don't usually get jobs within a week. You usually get jobs, I don't know, maybe a month from terms of like emailing the first time to get in the interview. Maybe let's say like 2 to 4 weeks is about the average time to get a job. But when you're unemployed and you're looking for a job, a week can feel like ages. You're fucking refreshing your fucking Google email all the time. You're checking your phone, opening your text messages app all the time, checking if somebody's called you, checking if you missed a call, putting your phone on loud. You are so anxious, so fucking weirded out and whatever all over the place because you haven't got something. So for your mental, it's not a good idea. So it's probably, I think, a better idea to get the other job sorted and then leave, because no one really can help you, and no one knows the pain of looking for a job and not having one and not getting any replies and just sitting there. And the sad thing about it too is that more often than not, when you're looking for a job, usually anyway, you don't get any replies for ages, and then all of a sudden everyone starts replying to you at the same time. It's like fucking buses here in London. None come for ages and then fucking 7 come at the same time. So it can be really frustrating that way, but that's kind of how those things work out. So you're probably better off chilling wherever you're at right now, even if it's fucking terrible, even if you hate every single minute of it. Grin and bear it, especially if you're an adult. If you're an adult, just grin and bear it. You've probably been through worse situations in your life. You'll get past this. Trust me, this hard time soon shall pass as well. And just fucking bite down. Look for, and if anything, you should use the fact that you hate that job as a reason to go to another job. You get me? Like, to look for another job. So if it's that bad, actually take some time out of your day, every single day, after work, before work, to apply for things. That's what I used to do anyway. When I was in jobs I hated, or I was trying to get a fucking promotion, or I didn't get a promotion at the job I was at, and I was trying to get a pay increase somewhere else, I'd be applying before. I'd be applying before work, I'd be applying after work. The other key is, actually, someone that's looked for jobs for a long time, I would say the other key is always have your job looking time like specced out in a certain time frame. So what I mean by that, so if you're going to look after work, make sure it's like a couple of hours, no more than that. Make sure it's like, I don't know, 6 to 8 p.m. Then close your computer and go do your normal stuff. Don't obsess over it, because I feel like sometimes, maybe it's just a superstitious thing, but I think sometimes when you focus too much on it and you're too hungry and desperate to fucking get a job, it sometimes doesn't come your way and your mind can start playing fucking tricks on you. So don't do that. Don't fucking do that. To carry on with the job conversation, there was this update, again, more kind of news to kind of give you pause if you're looking for a move, and also some news to kind of soothe your soul if you're looking for a job and you're not getting one. Don't worry, it's not just you. Everyone out there is struggling. Everyone out there is doing quite badly, and there's certain sectors, certain departments, certain areas that are affected worse than others, especially in my area. My area mostly is like experiencing like ops, experiencing customer service, experiencing marketing, and experiencing social media management. And most of those jobs, unfortunately, artificial intelligence has fucking slapped us over the head and taken some of our roles. As per this headline, Salesforce cuts 4,000 customer service jobs as AI takes over. 4,000 customer service roles were cut from Salesforce because of AI. Brutal. And in the past, I remember when I first started, like when I had like my my somewhat best customer service role was when I worked at Depop, right? Online. Working at Depop, answering people's queries and shit. And we had the customer service bot early on. But it was like a basic one. It wasn't anything crazy. Like one of those bots are like, okay, what do you want? Like those bots are also AI, but I'm pretty sure. Like, what do you want? What is an order issue? And then it'll be a list of common order issue questions. And then it will send you to either a FAQ, a FAQ, or it will tell you, hey, get in touch with your customer service rep, innit? But nowadays, most platforms, most websites, they have a full AI agent. They don't have anybody else. You're talking to an AI bot. You're not talking to a person at all. So, and for the most part, the job that I was doing, getting a hold of order numbers, double checking tracking, calling, like all those things, you can do that easily. You could do that easily with an AI. You don't really need me to do it. And the scary thing is, you can even do that with fucking with marketing and social media. I used to, when I was doing social media when I was a social media manager for companies, essentially that involved creating like a social media content calendar, or coming up with ideas for social media posts in general, organic, paid, all this malarkey, right? To increase your followers, maybe get some clicks on some new products and sales, whatever it may be, right? But nowadays, if you have a decent AI bot, you could probably be able to write something that could basically do that for you. Especially if you're like, imagine you're like an app that's focusing on property management. Most likely, you could get a bot that could scrape the internet once a day at a particular time for news relating to like housing market, housing market, rental stuff, whatever it may be, to put on your social media. And you can also spec it to write certain posts in a certain way, highlight certain things. So the need to have customer service reps, like actual real people, is very much so dwindling. In the same way that you go to most fast food chains now, even Burger King has it, and I feel like Burger King was the last to adopt it. Most fast food chains have those massive screens that you can order from. You know, there's usually only like one till. The Liverpool Street McDonald's, the iconic Liverpool Street McDonald's that I've been to after many, many raves, or on the way to many, many raves. Now the tills are basically gone. There's that one till in that Liverpool McDonald's. Most of the pay points are like on the right hand side. There's like a whole row of like these screens glowing, looking at you, so you can kind of order what you want. So the whole rush of like somebody getting in queue and shouting is completely gone. It's kind of taking the fun out of that Liverpool Street McDonald's, to be honest. But anyway, let's continue to read the article. It says, software giant Salesforce has laid off 4,000 employees in its customer service division as part of an ongoing shift for more AI in its operations. The US-based custom company, which owns Slack, announced that it had reduced its customer service team from 9,000 to 5,000. Bloody hell, man. I've been in that position where there's mass layoffs and you're not too sure if you're the person that's going to get laid off, and some people stay. Woo! The hate that you have in your heart. The hate that you have in your heart for the people that stay. I can admit it. It's brutal because you're out of a job, of course, but you hope you'll be the one that stayed. When you're not the one that stayed, the hate that you have in your heart. Oh, it's brewing. And then you see those people, like sometimes you get called into a room and they'll tell you, hey, you didn't make the cut, right? And then you have to maybe leave that straight away. A lot of companies do that because they don't want you to be on the computer writing shit about them and stuff. So you leave straight away, and as you're leaving, you'll see some people on the computer not looking up, you know? Not even saying bye or anything, giving you a hug, just like, you know what I mean? Pretending like they don't see anything. It's like, motherfucker, you see me. You fucking see me. You feel kind of guilty and whatever because you stayed, but it's not your fault. Congratulations, you stayed. But look up and say bye at least, motherfucker. But also get it, you know? When somebody gets let go from a company, you're quite radioactive, you know what I mean? You are Chernobyl. You are super duper duper radioactive. So why the fuck would they want to say bye to you? They don't want to catch your disease of unemployment. You know what I mean? Speaking on the podcast, CEO Mark Benioff explained that AI would be able to take over many routine customer interactions, which is true. I was able to rebalance my headcount on my support because I needed fewer heads. Jesus Christ. Rebalance, you know. The way CEOs talk about employees, it's just so brutal. It's so fucking cutthroat. It's so lacking in emotion and care and love. Like, I was able to rebalance my headcount. Like, Jesus Christ, man, I work here. Anyway, Salesforce own AI now manages around 50,000 customer conversations, including a supervisor tool that escalates complex issues to human agents when necessary. That's pretty cool, actually. Benioff added that Salesforce has already eliminated a backlog of more than 100 million unaccounted sales leads through AI, uncontacted. Yeah, see, that's why you get AI, because people are shit at their jobs. Why is there 100 million uncontacted sales leads? You know, that's the real problem. That's the real problem. The real problem is, why is there over 100 unaccounted leads in the first place? That shows you that most people don't do their jobs, because people like to stunt, people like to front a lot. Because anyway, maybe it's just me. I use social media a lot, especially Twitter. There's way too many people online at the same time. Either everybody's unemployed or everybody's got a job and not doing their job. Maybe a combination of both. But I don't believe this idea that people are just, no. You motherfuckers are tweeting and posting Instagram stories and memes during the workday. So for sure you're not focusing on what you're doing, which is probably why there's 100 million uncontacted sales leads in the funnel. Like, what the fuck? 100 million? Like, Jesus Christ. No wonder AI is taking our jobs, mate. They do a better job. This is like the immigration conversation all over again. He explained that it's an agentic AI that can make decisions autonomously to reach specific goals, that have been having conversations with potential customers who had got in touch with the company over the 26 years. These agents break down tasks into smaller steps, each tackling a separate task and improving productivity. Hundreds of employees have redeployed in other areas such as professional services and sales, the company said. In the UK, outsourcing company Capita has embraced Salesforce agentic AI to automate more than 200 recruitment tasks and software company estimates. Earlier this year, Singapore bank DSB Bank cut its workforce by 10% as AI took over human tasks, while buy now, pay later company Klarna has indicated to have half of the headcount through the use of AI customer service and marketing tools. So it's looking bleak out there for us, brothers and sisters, looking bleak. I'm just curious to know, what do you do? Like, I'm fortunate. Like, I have experience in sales, social media, in marketing, so I could bounce between the roles. But if all you have on your CV is customer service rep experience, what do you do now then? Are you fucked? Because if you get Salesforce, I'd imagine, is a pretty good company to work for. They're probably one of those companies that has loads of fucking perks. They've got a really nice office. They probably make you fucking matcha in the fucking cafeteria. They have great lunches, a gym. I'm sure they have one of those fucking really cool offices that you see go viral on TikTok. And I bet you Salesforce probably pay pretty well too. For a customer service rep, you probably get paid pretty decently. Good fucking, benefits and perks and shit and whatever else it may be. But if all you have on your CV is customer service experience, what do you do next? What do you do? AI is taking your job now. What do you do next? I guess the only other option you got is to learn a new skill, or to take your customer service experience IRL and start working in a shop or something, because those roles aren't going to be taken anytime soon. There's still going to be somebody that needs someone to get them a size 12 shoe. There's going to be somebody that needs someone to give them a fucking cup of coffee. Even though the cup of coffee thing, by the way, call me dumb, call me stupid, but I think if somebody wants to develop a coffee system that was good, that was automated AI sort of shit, they could just go press a button and you get really good fucking coffee delivered at the end of the fucking counter, and you didn't have to interact with a human. You didn't have to get fucking vibed out by some hipster kid or some girl with a septum piercing didn't give you a fucking really dirty look. If you could avoid all of that you get usually in most coffee shops, and just go somewhere and go beep 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 beep, and it gives you the coffee and it's really fucking good, I think a lot of people will take it. So not all customer service jobs are going to be available. But really and truly, if you're a customer service rep online and your job's been taken because of AI, you're fucked, innit? You are well and truly FUCKED'd. There's nothing else you can do. You just have to grin and bear it. It's fucking awful. It really is fucking awful. But hey, what can you do? What can you do? Big up everybody in the stream chat hanging in there. I appreciate you. Welcome to the Agostino Zinga Show. This is the Agostino Zinga Show, episode number 939. 939. If you're watching the show, you enjoy the show, you like what you see what you like, make sure you smash the like button, hit subscribe. If you're listening to this via the podcast app, please click the link tree in my description. You'll find all the links regarding myself. Share the show, all that good shit. Join the Patreon, blah blah blah. Become a member of the show. You know the spiel. Big up everybody in the stream chat. I see you as well. Big up Jordan Ray, God's favorite, Case of Moses, Wagwan, Ashley Cummings. Hope you're good, my love. Hope you're good. And big up as well Bilal Zafar. Big up everybody in the stream chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for joining me on this lovely sunny. It's actually a sunny day actually here in London. It's currently 9:42 a.m. Sorry, on a Saturday afternoon. I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're all doing good. Talking about doing good, I've just seen actually that Young Thug dropped a new track. Young Thug has started to reply to some of the stuff that's been going on around his name. Most of it's self-inflicted. Young Thug's been on a weird run of L's post prison sentence or post beating the case for the YSL RICO. And one of the biggest issues for Young Thug has been these leaked phone calls. So while Young Thug was in prison, or was in jail, sorry, for 3 years, kind of fighting that YSL RICO case, he was obviously talking to his friends and family and shit. And for some reason, Young Thug, he assumed jail calls were never recorded. He assumed they would never get out. And he was talking fast and loose about literally everybody in the industry. And some of these clips have kind of, you know, have made people look at him in a certain way. There's also been an interrogation tape of Young Thug from when he was in 2015, I think, where he's given the police a lot of fucking information about crimes and whatever else it may be, which you would maybe attribute that to him snitching, which is funny considering he's been calling Gunna a snitch and basically trying to ruin his reputation and ruin his life because he maybe did snitch when he said the yes ma'am shit. So it's been kind of bad for Young Thug. And most importantly, forget all that mess. As a fan, no music. We haven't really got that much music from Thug. Now, I personally think the reason why we haven't got enough music for him is twofold. One, if you remember when Young Thug beat the YSL RICO, people forget, but his bail conditions are very, very, very strict. Like, he can't even go to Atlanta. I'm pretty sure part of his bail conditions, he can't even go to Atlanta. He can't hang out with certain people. He can't talk to certain people, and he can't mention certain things on social media or his songs. So his bail conditions are extremely, extremely strict. Secondly, I think you can see via the mask and how his body looks and shit and his face. I personally think, as somebody that's kind of been through, you know, a place when you're not kind of loving yourself, you're a little bit sad, depressed, you're not really, you know what I mean? You're not really going where you want to go. It can obviously have impact on how you look and how you treat yourself. So I think the fact that he looks the way that he does is for me proof that that jail sentence kind of took a bit of the spark out of him. You know, he was facing football numbers in terms of prison sentences. So I think he's lost a bit of the passion, lost a bit of the drive, the fire, the need to make music, which is why we haven't heard anything from him. Because really and truly, you know, a case like his, when he busts case, you'd imagine the first thing you want to do is get in the studio and give us a first day out record. But we didn't even get that. We got some features, but not really anything good, really. So it's kind of nice, actually, to see him replying. Even though the track itself, from what I've heard, isn't that great, I'm happy that he's replying in the first place and not fucking yapping on podcasts and shit, which he's going to appear on one, actually. I saw he's going to appear on a podcast soon with these, I forgot what their names are. They're very prominent in Atlanta. It's like a man and a woman who he's very close with. He's going to go on their podcast. And I think I saw another post where Young Thug is going to appear on an Aiden Ross stream as well. So I'm assuming he's going to talk about some of this stuff. But anyway, that aside, there's a new track that just leaked. It didn't leak. I think Young Thug put it himself. But it's also got a video that I guess speaks upon some of the stuff that he's been going through, that I'm going to play with you now and react to it in real time. This is courtesy of Sound. It says new Young Thug diss record addressing everything leaks. Let's play it and let's see what he's saying there. Let's see. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see what he's saying there. Let's see what Young Thug is saying on this record where he allegedly disses everybody. I don't know. Starting the record off talking about rats is funny. By the way, that guy next to him kind of looks like Gunna. Niggas is real rats out here. It's like, brother, you're the rat too. You're being this. Oh no, the sounds ain't playing actually. Sorry, no sound. Apologies, my fault. No sound. But starting off the record talking about rats is funny. Let me just do it again one more time.
Yeah. See, you can't compare no nigga to me, bro. You know. Niggas real rats around this motherfucker, you dig what I'm saying?
And again, the rats thing, I understand I understand why he's upset. because Gunna was his guy, and the way Gunna ratted him out or the way Gunna slammed him out was kind of fucked up, because you could tell from the court case, you could tell when they were in court, there was a real difference in energy the first and second time Young Thug and Gunna were both up on the screen at the same time. They were both, I think they were zooming into the, I think, was it during COVID or something? Anyway, yeah, I think it was, but they weren't allowed into the courtroom, and they were zooming in from whatever holding cell they were in, and Gunna couldn't even look at Thug. He was kind of like, he was like, obviously I think he was also going through withdrawals, but he was kind of like looking down. You couldn't even look at Thug properly in the eye. So that you could tell something happened, a shift. He definitely said something. So I understand why Young Thug is pissed off, because that's your guy. He basically mentored that kid. That was his protege. He mentored Gunna. Gunna went on to do amazing things because of his talent and his hard work and whatever else. But you know, he got betrayed a little bit. I get it. But Jesus Christ, Young Thug, like have some understanding, because you did some of that too. That 2015 fucking recorded interview that he had was very snitch-like. He was talking way too much to the officers, offering up information, offering to come in again, talking about food. Like, God damn it, Young Thug, just focus on the music, bro. I get why he's upset, but like, no one cares now, especially since you've been uncovered to be a rat. Just, you know, do your music thing.
Yeah, nigga, I did what I did. Trying my best to help my motherfucking brother get out of the situation he was in, nigga. I have.
Hold on. So they ratted, but I did what I did. What does that mean? So it's bad for them, but it's okay for me because I'm helping my brother. Huh? I don't think snitching helps that way. I'm not too sure. I guess what he's trying to say is that the information that he offered to the police was fake in order to get his brother off. That's what a lot of people are doing now. That's a new pushback against the snitching allegations. Oh no, I didn't snitch. I told the police a lie. All right.
No regrets for facts. Spider. But don't get it confused, nigga. Don't get it fucked up, nigga. Ain't no rat to me at all, kid.
I don't know, man. When you respond to rat allegations by showing off money and jewelry, it's like, you're probably guilty, innit? When you don't just break down why you're not a rat, why you're not a snitch, and you instead goes for the money argument, you're probably guilty.
I'd rather die than tell on a nigga, for real. Only thing I regret is ever in my life fuck with y'all fuck niggas.
To be fair, the diamonds are dancing though. Let's be fair. He definitely, Young Thug has what the NFL footballers have. You know when they always say, oh wow, NFL footballers' diamonds look way different than the diamonds that rappers wear. Well, he's definitely got NFL footballer diamonds. Cause those motherfuckers are the dancing.
Bro, fuck all y'all suckers. Pussies. And it's a bit different between me and y'all. Y'all nigga pointing niggas out and say they did.
Oh, look at Moss. Wow.
You did. Yeah, Spider. Pull up to your house like the mailman, nigga. Go! They hit everything. What's the trash cans, nigga? Back to back, like it's Cetera, nigga.
I don't know. First verse already, the beat's alright. Yeah. But is it me or does he sound a little bit lackluster? He doesn't even sound like he sounds like he recorded this lying down. You know? He doesn't even sound punchy. I don't know, man. I think that jail sentence, which again, understandable, but spending that amount of time in jail, going through the YSL Rico, I think it's killed his spirit, honestly. Young Thug doesn't sound the same at all, which I think is more understandable. I think it's stranger and more bizarre when a rapper comes out and acts like nothing happened when they spent like 10 years in prison for a crazy charge and they just pick up where they left off, right? It's fucking odd, like, oh, Jesus, what's wrong with you? But like, yeah, he just doesn't sound the same anymore, you know? He's kind of going through that same thing that Lil Wayne went through, his mentor, right? Somebody that he looked up to and then ended up trying to fucking KIL allegedly. But he's going through the same thing like Lil Wayne went through when he quit smoking lean. No, when he quit drinking lean or so. Well, I think it was lean, yeah. When he quit drinking lean, like, and he just was making terrible music. I think he's going through the same thing. This is not good.
Please don't hit the mailbox, it's federal, nigga. Keep a big J at the clip point.
It's funny he said, please don't hit the mailbox, it's federal, nigga. Well, you were on the phone. He was on the phone to his girl, snitching and telling people's business, and that's a federal thing. That's fucking funny he's talking about. It's like, bro, you on the phone, yapping to your girl during a federal RICO. Like, you should have maybe taken some of your own advice.
Buddy, my shoes dirty, cup dirty, both muddy, buddy. Hiding in a house, they gon' get.
I don't know about that. That might be a parole violation. Again, I watched the court case. You know, I'm one of those losers that watched because I'm a big Thug fan, I'm a big Gunna fan, big YSL fan. So I was watching that court case closely. And I remember, I think one of the conditions of young Thug getting out on probation or whatever, on bail, was that he was not allowed to do drugs or drink any alcohol. And if he's talking about his cup being muddy, we know what muddy means, right? Dirty Sprite, right? We know what fucking muddy means. So this might be a parole violation. I'm not going to lie. He's got to be careful, bro. My cup muddy. Is it? Is it muddy though? If it's muddy and you get drug tested, you might end up back in fucking jail, my guy.
Your cuz, buddy. My brother living life for me. That's love, buddy. Pussy, you killed that kid. That ain't stepping. Pussy, you trying to change. Okay, Reverend. You got on your shoes. Them just stepping. You shot back when they pulled off. That ain't happen. Yeah. Strip it till the draws turn backwards. Free my bro till it's backwards. Stepping in, telling that's backwards. Shot for you, fuck, that's backwards. Lying on your dick, that's backwards. 10 rounds on a stick, that's backwards. Nigga play with this shit, they gon' cap him. I was telling them I'm not just a rapper. I don't want smoke with a rapper. What's in the land? What happened? Hit him from the back.
That bit was the best bit. I think that bit so far was the best bit of the track. He just sounds a little bit, maybe it's because of what he looks like. He just sounds a bit lackadaisical, you know? He sounds like he doesn't really give a fuck. But that bit that was the best bit. This bit here was the best bit.
Buddy, pussy, you killed that kid. That ain't stepping. Pussy, you trying to change. Okay, Reverend. You got on your shoes. Them just stepping. You shot back when they pulled off. That ain't happen.
This bit.
Yeah. Strip it till the draws turn backwards. Free my bro till it's backwards. Stepping in, telling that's backwards. Shot for you, fuck, that's backwards. Lying on your dick, that's backwards. 10 rounds on a stick, that's backwards. Nigga play with this shit, they gon' cap him. I was telling them I'm not just a rapper.
Yeah, that's the best bit, but so far it's not that great. I'm not gonna lie, it's not that great.
I don't want smoke with a rapper. What's in the land? What happened? Hit him from the back of my master. Mink on our toes, Alaska. Yes, I'm from the 3, but I do shit where other niggas speak. I'm a big dog with my own, but I like other niggas treats. Yeah, Gunna rat, yeah, correct. Slugger rat, wounded rat. Fuck that nigga Obama. He still mad by baby mama.
Raw Ted, he said it out. He said it out loud, didn't it? Did a rat. Which is true, right? No one's gonna deny that Wowso Woody's a rat, right? No one's gonna deny that even Gunna's a rat, right? That yes ma'am shit, you know, like you're just not meant to speak at all. You're meant to let your lawyers do all the speaking, and you're meant to take whatever comes your way. But I can say that now as a fucking civilian. I don't know what that must be like if you're Gunna, and you know who knows what Gunna was doing just before the feds raided his crib and arrested him. Who knows what he was doing? He could have been in a fucking bedroom surrounded by fucking 17 big battied fucking women, right? Feeding him fucking tiramisu. And then suddenly the feds come in, you know, and you're still fucking high off the molly, of the perk. Because that's when Gunna was doing fucking balloons. Like he was taking fucking gas canisters to the face and shit. He was probably high as a kite by the time he got to the feds. And then they're interviewing you, asking all these questions. You just want to get back to your fucking girl. You just want to get back to that room, right? And here you are facing a RICO. You're like, what the fuck? Facing like football numbers in terms of print sentences. So I can understand that situation. Why? I still think it's fucked up because, you know, they all knew what YSL was about. They all knew what that slime life was about. They all enjoyed the fact that, you know, with thugs, you know, arm over their shoulder, they got the ability to be kind of like eccentric and cool and hippie, you know, eccentric and whatever. But they also knew that there's a real street element to Thug. Like Thugger, from the time that he came out of the scene, from the time that we saw him first looking all fucked up and shit, from the time that he was in the dress and shit, Thugger's always had that element to him. It's always been a part. And I think some of us, myself included, only realized how deep it was or how real it was when the RICO happened. But most people in the US, I'm sure, who are attached to the streets, whatever, they were very aware of Thug's reputation on the streets. So it was no surprise. It should have been no surprise that, you know, one day he was going to get arrested or some shit. So in that case, that's why I don't really like the Gunna snitching thing, because there's no way he did not know of Thug's, like, you know, other hobbies, other extracurricular activities. But if you're benefiting from his association, then you should also accept the consequences that come with those benefits, whether they're good or bad. And I don't like how he decided to just like, okay, I'm just saving myself. It's like, brother, if you just would have, who knows, maybe it would have been different, but I do think because Gunna really wasn't that involved, if he would have just sat down and chilled, I think he would have been okay. Honestly, I think he would have been fine. I don't think he would have got any prison time. He would have been perfectly fine, but who's to know?
Slime like shawty, make sure you put down your fault. cake, shit, he gay. Hey, I would say I'm stepping, but that's cliche. Hey, niggas thought they left me, then we beat the case. Hey, doggy, you a motherfucking bitch. If you want a nigga twin, they would've tried to squish your kids. Pussy, 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 yeah, pussy. If a nigga like Buddy kill me, God gotta give me another chance. They gave 14 niggas hits, it only cost 300 bands. All this money on me now, I damn that need 3 pair of pants. I ain't going back and forth. I'd rather go tit for tat. I ain't tryna find no parking spot. I'd rather keep on spinning. If you kill one of my dogs, shit, I'd rather never end it. Nigga, get your homie touched and it won't cost me JC Penney's out the window when the rolls like.
Talking about putting hits on people, talking about putting money on people, talking about revenge. Like, honestly, you're on probation, no? Like, this is a probation violation. This whole track is a probation violation. Like, the track isn't even that good. It's not even a good enough record to get you back in prison. Like, if it's a really good record where you're fucking spinning, you're skating, you're sliding all over it, you're going fucking hard, fair enough. For the love of the game, you gave us a sick record, then you got locked up the next day. All right, cool. The fans have got what they wanted. You're the realist, whatever, cool. Free you. But this record isn't even that good. The beat's pretty shit. He's also no. It's not that great. This is like a current era version of what's his fucking name? Pierre Bourne, you know? You know Pierre Bourne when he was good, when he was really with fucking Carti, first nudie tape, but now Pierre Bourne productions are like garbage. This sounds like a Pierre Bourne track from nowadays. It sounds terrible, man. And he's saying so much, he's talking so much shit. Like, he's really going for it, like talking about, you know, stuff that he probably shouldn't be talking about. And it's probably gonna get him in trouble.
Like, I'm tired of seeing stars. I done went to buying Hellcats. I'm tired of all these foreigns. She done slapped another bitch out. Like, I'm tired of all these broads. Told my lawyer speed the process up. I'm tired of all these charges. Nigga, man, I ain't paying for his lawyer. He gon' be alright. I make deals with the work. I don't need a kite. I can walk on in the street. Shit, I don't need a bike. Bought a ring and engraved. I done found my wife. Dug a man little flare. I had more hoes than I got hair. I hope every rat go camping and get ate by a bear. Skeet it in her face, she clean it off, just like never. My last day of trial felt like playing truth or dare. We on the back burner. Bitch, I'm out the trenches, I got a fat mama. I was whipping farms before I had learned.
Yeah, this is a good bit. This is better. This end bit is better, but it's not that great of a track. But this end bit again is better. There's some good elements in the track, but overall it's not that great. But this end bit is getting nice. This is the funk that we know and love. These type of like this whatever, this flow, this melody is quite nice. I like this.
The Rowdy got a whistle like a football game, yeah. I tried to tell her not to leave, and now she's solo with my sheets. My homie traded for a free, and I gave them everything they need. At night I cry myself to sleep. Gotta wake up and change my sheets. I wear my heart outside my sleep.
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
She had to free me till I'm.
Technical difficulties here. Technical difficulties. Bear me 1 second. Technical difficulties.
Free.
What happened to the M4 MacBook Air? Come on, M4 MacBook Air. Don't kill me. Don't die on me like this. Let's go.
How I get more love from a freak than I get from niggas that grew up in the streets with me. Some of my cars got stolen, they fucked up my fleet. But I be okay, I ain't fucking with my sleep. Yo, bitch been fucking ball players like you ain't a team twin. Like you ain't score 100 points 2013 twin. Your new shit boss up and in everyone your dreams twin. My shoes brand new with some how I still leaning.
Yeah, not that great, man. Not that great. Not that great. But I'm happy he's speaking through the music more than he's speaking on the fucking jail calls, whether he's tweeting and shit. I don't know. I don't like this version of. I don't like this version of Thug right now. I get it. The case was fucking crazy. He probably spun his head for a loop. He's all over the place. But I would prefer if he just put all the energy into the music and, you know, gave us something. But I think, unfortunately, that Welso Rico has broken his soul, broken his spirit. Maybe seeing his friends turn on him, snitch on him, really hurt. Because, you know, as much as he likes to hate on everybody, he does seem like somebody that cares a lot about his friends. Like, you see him speaking about Lil Baby's deal with Hype Bay or Hype B that fell through, and how, like, you know, he was pushing for him to get that deal through, how he was questioning QC's involvement in getting their own deal and why they didn't break more bread with fucking Lil Baby. And you could tell that he really cares about his people. Like, although he takes advantage of it, he takes advantage of that role. He does sometimes manipulate people in a way, but I think in general he's got a big heart. You know, he definitely cares about his people. So I can imagine getting fucking snitched on by everybody, right? Everybody turning their back on you. It's gonna break your heart, because he probably shared a lot of good moments with those people. He probably helped them out in times. They've helped him out in times, and then suddenly, when it's your hardest moment, none of them are there standing tall beside you. They're all fucking taking plea deals. They're all snitching. They're all doing whatever. So I get it. But I don't know, man. Get over it, I guess, innit? Get over it and give us some good music for the love of God. Get over it and give us some good music for the love of fucking God. Talking about God, I've been listening to this interview, right? Or I've replayed this episode of the Tim Dillon podcast a few times, and it's got me thinking a lot about selling out. It's got me thinking a lot about principles and morals. It's got me thinking a lot about what my price is, because I think everybody has a price. Everybody has a price. No one likes to admit it, but we do. We all have a price. This is why I hate hypotheticals. I think I was speaking about it in the barbershop one time. Big up F for Fade. Big up my barbershop F for Fade, right? The premier barbershop out there. Big up F for Fade. I was in F for Fade one day, not recently anyway, as you can tell by my hair. And I was speaking, and I think they were speaking about hypotheticals or something, right? And I remember going on a bit of a rant that I hate hypotheticals. Hypothetical questions like, oh, would you suck a man's dick for $100 million? Would you eat shit for fucking 10,000? Would you let somebody fucking run over your foot with a fucking bike? You know all those hypotheticals? I don't like them, because hypotheticals are bullshit, because no one's really honest, and hypotheticals don't really kind of get to the point or get to the question, because the question's only pertinent when the proposition's right in front of you. So somebody has to have a suitcase full of 100 or let's say 5,000 pounds in fresh notes in front of you, and then next to him there should be a person that you're gonna lick the arse of, lick the toes, suck the dick, whatever it is, and then they'll ask you. That's when you're gonna get a real answer, if that money's right in front of you. If you're just debating and pontificating about all this shit, you're not gonna ever give the real answer. You're always gonna make yourself sound cooler, sound better than what you actually are. But really and truly, the truth of the matter is that most of us will do quite deplorable things if given the money right in front of us. If the money was right, it was tangible. You know what I mean? It was tactile, so you could feel it. It was right there. You could smell the notes. Most of us would do some pretty unforgivable things for that money, which is sad, especially when you consider the economy that we're in at the moment. So the reason why I say that is because the Tim Dillon podcast, episode number 459, Tim Dillon kind of responds to a lot of the backlash, concerns, and questions a lot of fans have, right, about why he's taking this gig in Saudi Arabia. Because in Saudi Arabia, specifically Riyadh, they're hosting a comedy festival. And essentially it's a who's who of comedians who are going. Every comedian that you know and love is going to be performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, right? So don't get me wrong. It's not only Tim Dillon. There's a bunch of people performing, right? As you can see here via the website, the festival lineup, you got so many different people performing, right? You've got Tim Dillon, Jeff, what's his name? Jeff Ross, Dave Chappelle. You got Fluffy, one of my favorites, performing. I don't know. Oh my God, you got someone called all these people are there. Jessica Kirsten, Aziz Ansari, Kevin Hart, Chris Stefano, Tom Segura, Joe Coy, Sam Morril, Hannibal Buress, Andrew Schultz and Flagrant, Sebastian Maniscalco, Bad Friends, Bill Burr, Whitney Cummings, Jimmy Carr, Louis C.K., Pete Davidson, which is a weird one, by the way, Because people think now so much time has passed by, right? That allegedly 9/11 may have been financed by the Saudi Arabian government. That's what people suggest. Or at least the people that were behind it, or maybe not finance, people that are behind it, were Saudi Arabian descent. And if you know anything about Pete Davidson, you'd know that Pete Davidson's dad, who he was very close with, don't get me wrong, he died when he was really young. He died in the Twin Towers. So people are looking at this like, fuck, you know, Pete Davidson, like, that government killed your dad. And a lot of these things are put on by the Saudi Arabian government. It's not put on by they're directly tied to this, because as an attempt to kind of whitewash some of their crimes and stuff, or just, present a better face to the Western media, or just attract more toy. I think it's all above. I think these things, like they do dance music festivals and shit, it's obviously modernize the country, whitewash some of its kind of, allegations and shit, and just make it an appealing place for foreigners to come to, right? Because, you want people to come there, spend their money and fucking, contribute to your fucking GDP and shit. So people are looking at Pete Davidson with a side eye, like, why are you performing in Riyadh when maybe Saudi Arabian government was involved in the death of your father and hundreds of thousands of people, others, Americans on that fucking tragic day. But he's doing it anyway. But again, I understand, because he's got, I think if I remember correctly, there was an article that came out recently that says Pete Davidson's struggling with money. I did see that. I remember seeing it somewhere, like a headline, that he's not doing as well as people think he's doing. That he's got a kid coming up. He's got a kid now. I think he's married. I think he's got a kid, or I think both. I think he's got a new girl and he's married, or he's got a kid coming up. Jesus Christ, why can't I say that properly? He's got a kid coming soon, coming up, dropping soon, releasing soon. And yeah, man, it is what it is. When you have I really don't think, as a man, personally, as a red-blooded heterosexual man, I completely understand it when men especially do things that don't maybe line up to the principles or morals in order to support their family. Especially in an era that we live in, where there is a prevalence of deadbeat dads, deadbeat men and deadbeat dads. I think it's quite admirable when a guy swallows his pride, right? Puts his ego to one side and does something for the betterment of their family. So maybe it's not that surprising that Pete Davidson's like, you know what, I'm going to go do this, because that money that he's going to be paid, he's probably going to get a couple million. That might be the difference between, him, essentially having to sell his house and keep his family all in that one big house that he's got, So I get it in that respect, but still dubious. Anyway, Pete Davidson's there. Mark Norman's also going to be there. Russell Peters and Chris Tucker, right? So a bunch of big comedians are going to be there. Legendary comedians, right? A bunch of big people are going to be performing. And obviously Tim Dillon's also performing there. Now, it got me thinking in general about what your price is. And I want you, people in the stream chat, to tell me what you think your price is. Because I think we all have a price. People don't like to admit it. People are never going to say it. But I think we all have a number, a numerical number that would make us sell out. If you're the type of, like, for me personally, like, let's say stuff like Palace, right? I've got I've made it very clear that I fucking hate Palace, right? And would never wear that clothes, even though I started wearing the clothes when the brand first started. Like, I bought 2 of the first t-shirts Palace ever made. Back in the day when they used to make t-shirts and they used to kind of print the Palace trifeg fucking logo on the back. They would basically they would buy t-shirts and turn them inside out and then print the logo on it. It was sort of like a nod to like DIY culture, where you'd buy t-shirts from shops and then print your logo on the other side. So all my t-shirts from Palace had the seams showing, right? Because they were all printed on the reverse side. And then I bought a few other stuff from them too, but I bought a bunch of stuff from Palace. Then, unfortunately for me anyway, I had a very, I think, bad interaction with the founder of Palace when I was working at Nike. I was working at a store called Nike 1948 in Shoreditch. And again, it wasn't that bad of an, it was just an awkward, clunky one. But I don't like that sort of stuff, because when I see people interacting with other people and they're all smiles and loves and they're all fucking jolly and it's easy, but then when it comes to me, I get like a weird, I don't like that. It's like, why do I get the frosty shit? Why am I getting the awkward shit and everybody else gets the lovey-dovey? Like, I don't like that, so fuck off. So that's when I decided never to wear Palace again. And since then, I've been on like a one-man mission to make sure everybody knows that I fucking hate Palace. Now, if Palace turned around to me tomorrow and said, hey, we want you to feature on our new lookbook, here's £100,000, would I take it? I could honestly say hand on heart I wouldn't. But I think I'm a little bit rare and unique that way. I don't necessarily think I have a number. Like, if there's someone that I don't like, if there's something that goes against my principles and my morals, I would rather sleep well at night than take the money. But I'm also, as I mentioned previously, hypotheticals are kind of useless unless you're presented with that hypothetical in real life. So until somebody stands in front of me and shows me the contract to model for Palace, and then shows me also the bag of cash they're going to give me, I can't say whether or not I'll take it or not. But now I can say it, but I couldn't. I mean, it would be a bit disingenuous to say that sort of thing, or dishonest. But I think generally I wouldn't, because I think across the board, as you can see with how I ended up in my career, right? I think it's fair to say I don't usually take the easy route out. I don't usually take the sell-out, lick-ass way route out. I usually want to do it the long, hard, laborious, you know, fucking idiotic way to do it. So I don't really have a number. I don't have a number at all. I don't have a number. I wish I did. I don't have a number. But Tim Dillon does offer up an interesting proposition that everyone does have a number. And why should he be why should he be fucking flogged for having a number and accepting this Riyadh Comedy Festival gig when he doesn't give a fuck about their human rights violations? Because most of the reasons why I wouldn't go and do this is because I do give a fuck about that sort of shit, right? I do give a fuck about all of the numerous human rights violations that they've done. It's mostly, to be fair, the thing that would give me a pause is what happened to fucking Jamal Khashoggi, right? The guy went to the fucking Saudi Arabia fucking whatever thing in a car and then left in the fucking suitcase. You know? Left in the fucking suitcase. He went there in a car, left in a suitcase. That would give me rest. That would give me pause. But for Tim Dillon, he doesn't have any pause. He thinks it doesn't matter. And he explains it here in this particular clip.
To people that are in his prison. So you might as well have a couple of dollars to try to buy your way out of the Peter Thiel compulsory Antichrist lecture that he's going to be giving at his prison. Now, people might say to me, hey, you're coming out and saying you're doing the Saudi thing for money. They're paying you a lot of money. I'm not going to tell you how much they're paying me. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much they're paying me. $375,000 for one show.
$375,000. Now I'm assuming that's most likely an hour, right? I'm assuming it's an hour. Yeah. Let's see. If we click on the Tim Dillon thing, I'm assuming this 375 is for 1 hour. I'm assuming it is, right? Let me scroll down. Does it have a time on it? Is there a time listed? There's no time listed on there. Get to know, directions. There's no time. But I can assume, right? Most likely, yeah, there we go. There's a time there. So what's that? Probably a 2-hour show. I don't think he's going to go for 3 hours. I doubt he's going to start from 9 to 12. But even still, let's imagine it is a 3-hour show. 3-hour show and you're getting paid $375,000. And you know the Saudi government are good for it. You know they're going to fucking send that money beforehand. You know they're either going to give you half up front. You know they might even send it right after you finish and wire it to your account. So they're good for the money. You know they're good for the money. So it's a bit difficult to sit there and say, oh, should he not take it when that's the amount of money on the line? Now, the issue that I have is that this is fucking Tim Dillon. This isn't some like open mic comic person. This is a guy who's very successful, done very well in his career, and he still feels the need to like take anything that comes his way. And it got me thinking in general about stand-up comedians. And I thought in general, like, the only people I think who are as money hungry, who don't say no to a bag, might be DJs. They might be the only people who are similar to comedians when it comes to never refusing a bag. Because I think comedians, doesn't matter who books them, doesn't matter how morally reprehensible they are, how fucking evil they might be, how dodgy they might be, whatever it is, as long as somebody's offering them a bag, they will be there. But then on the flip side, I'll play you another clip where Tim Dillon's talking to Joe Rogan about, Peter Thiel, and he basically reveals that he didn't go to a Peter Thiel dinner because Peter Thiel kind of basically freaks him out. And he also doesn't want to sit across an Antichrist guy, whatever. He probably just scared he's going to get kidnapped, whatever. But he generally didn't want to meet up Peter Thiel. And I think his defense for it was like, oh, I want to be able to take the piss out of these people. But if I meet them and have dinner with them, it's going to be hard because I like them and I'm friends with them, blah, blah, blah. But I find it interesting how he's wary of accepting money from Peter Thiel, but he's not wary about accepting money from the Saudi government.
Now, a lot of other people are getting 1.6 million. That's not me. I'm not in that bracket. But they're giving me 375. Others are getting 150. Why are they doing it? Here's the...
Throwing other people under the bus is fucking hilarious too, by the way. But that is interesting. He's not even the highest paid on the bill. I'd imagine people like Dave Chappelle are getting a lot of money. I'd imagine... Who else is probably getting a lot? Who's getting the 1 million? The 1 million probably goes to the Dave Chappelle's. Maybe Jeff Ross maybe might get that much. Being a marquee person. Maybe Louis C.K. will get that much too. I'd imagine Louis C.K. probably might be getting around the 1.6 millions. Who else might be getting that? Kevin Hart, of course. And maybe Joe Coy as well, because he commands, he's quite a big touring comic. Maybe he might be demanding that amount of money. And maybe Sebastian Maniscalco too. That's a big celebrity too. Maybe I think those guys, they're definitely getting a million. And also Russell Peters too. Because Russell Peters, I'd imagine, is probably quite popular in that region of the world anyway. But yeah, I can imagine those guys doing very well over there.
The point. Here's the point, okay? I am doing this because they're paying me a large sum of money. They're paying me enough money to look the other way. Do you understand? Look the other way. That's a 4-word sentence that people don't do anymore. Look the other way. If something bad is happening to your left, look to your right. If, for example, I'm at a breakfast and I see someone get grabbed and they start hitting them with that, you know, that big stick. I don't know if it's bamboo or whatever it is. It's kind of a wood, but it kind of snaps back. It's perfect for a cane. If I see someone getting it, I will look the other way, okay? If I look the other way and I see someone being behanded, meaning they're chopping a hand off, that might be interesting to just kind of see actually how they do it, because I think they do it kind of a sanitary way. But from what I've heard, you know, if they're chopping a hand, I might look down. And if I'm looking at the floor and I see some beggar grabbing at me trying to get my money, I will look up to the heavens. And if in the heavens I see a drone flying over, I will look the other way because I'm being paid enough money to look the other way. What don't you understand? What is so complicated? I'm the only honest person just going to do it. Everyone else is going to have a million. They're going to go, well, actually, the Middle East is more progressive now, and he's trying to make some change. No. I'm being paid a lot of money to not care about what they do in their country. I mean, it's very simple. If you pay me lots of money, I will not comment on what's going on. In fact, I will ignore it. And if something that I really disagree with is happening, the more money you pay me, the less I'm going to think about it.
So, pretty honest and pretty upfront. You can't, hate on that one. But I wonder sometimes if this approach is just a way for him to not think about it, to feel somewhat okay with it, the decision, because deep down he does care, because he's an intelligent guy. He knows a lot about what's going on around the world. He reads a lot of news and shit. He doesn't like what's happening in Palestine, for instance. So if somebody has that sort of heart, has that sort of outlook, it's going to be very unlikely that they're going to be okay with the stuff that the Saudi government does to its people, the stuff that the Saudi government maybe is involved in around the world, and they're not going to be too pleased with it. So there is probably a moral inner conflict going on inside of him that he's trying to appease by going on this like, oh, I don't care about anything sort of thing. He does care. When somebody talks about this, this way, this much, you care. If you don't really care, you probably won't even mention it. You just carry on doing what you're doing and not really give a fuck. But the fact that he's trying to explain it and make a joke out of it and take it to its extremes, I think he does care. And I think, let's be honest too, he wouldn't just look the other way if somebody got their hand cut in front of him. He'd probably faint. If he saw somebody getting beaten to the point of fucking mutilation, he would definitely faint as well. He would probably freak out. So until you're confronted with these things right in front of you, it's very unlikely you know how to react, And someone like a Tim Dillon who, goes out of his way to live a very comfortable life, I think if he was presented or he was kind of kind of put in a place where he had to confront some of that injustice, some of that poor behavior, some of that abuse, right, happening right in front of him, I don't think he'd be as cool or just chill, look the other way, nonchalant as he says here. I think he definitely would affect him way more than he fucking would like to admit. But he did admit he has a number, and his number is 375,000. Now, the funny thing is, there are people out there who are probably spitting feathers at Tim Dillon taking this Riyadh Comedy Festival gig, and they've probably accepted far less money to keep quiet. Even in workplaces, you see it all the time in workplaces. People have jobs, and instead of speaking up for an injustice, speaking up for somebody that you know is getting harassed, bullied, or is getting mistreated, they'd rather just keep quiet so that they can keep their fucking shitty job. Well, no, it's not a shitty job, but you know, it's their job, but still, they're not even willing to like give up their job that isn't really that important in the grand scheme of things. Yes, it's important to their life and keeping up their bills and whatever, maintaining what they do. But in the grand scheme of things, if somebody's getting, you know, treated badly and it's obvious to all, you would think putting your salary or risking your salary by talking would actually be the right way to go about things. But people don't do that. People fucking don't do that. So I guess at least he's being somewhat honest about his way. I just don't think I have a number, man. I'm just trying to think about it now. I really don't think I have one. I really don't think so. I think I care too much, I think, about sleeping well at night. I care too much about, you know, going against my principles, morals and shit that I wouldn't ever do it. And I think that's a real big separator between people who become like rich, like who have some money, who are comfortable, and people who become rich. I don't think you can become wealthy doing this. You also have to kind of make something. But I think you can become very, very, very rich if you have an ability to look the other way. Because there are a lot of people who make a lot of money are usually involved in a lot of dodgy things. So if you can be one of the rare people that looks the other way, you'll be fine. Like look at the Nelk Boys. They're a good example. Look the other way. Look how successful they are. Dana White does that a lot of people too. Dana White kind of rewards people that look the other way. If you don't really question what happens with fighter pay, if you don't question some of his behavior, if you don't question the UFC sometimes tactics and shit, and you just do what you do, he will reward you. He will let you know that, hey, thank you for doing that. I'm going to now make sure that you're looked after. So looking the other way can be very beneficial monetarily for your paycheck, for your whatever. But I'm just not that person. No? I could never, ever, ever be that person. Unfortunately for me, I think it's probably wise to do so, especially the older you get. You probably have other things to worry about. But when it comes to Tim Dillon, it's odd because he doesn't have any kids. He's on his own. It's strange that he's so, so fucking hell-bent on making sure he accepts this money and takes this deal because it doesn't really affect him in the long run. Let's think of it. It doesn't really affect him in the long run. He probably makes enough from his podcast anyway, you'd imagine. But then again, maybe that's the problem in the first place. Maybe it's me suggesting or even intimating that he makes enough. Who am I to say he makes enough? What is enough, you know? For you and I, a regular person, maybe making a certain amount is enough. But for these guys, it doesn't seem like it, which is why I say they are probably the greediest people I've seen when it comes to securing a bag. I thought DJs were quite greedy because I think during the Playgrave, you saw a lot of DJs deciding like, fuck it, I'm going to play in a third world country. I'm going to maybe spread COVID further because I need to make sure that I play and I need to make sure that I get my account going. And some of these guys and girls are like, you know, they get paid like 30 grand for like a set. And it's like, brother, you really don't need this money, man. I mean, you really don't. Like, missing a couple gigs in fucking Bali isn't going to make you bankrupt all of a sudden. So it's funny that someone like a Tim, again, who probably makes easily 375,000 from his podcast maybe every 6 months or so, right? I'd imagine he probably makes it every quarter on his podcast. Taking this deal from the Saudi government just seems a little bit unnecessary, you know? But again, you know, one of the things that I think I as well forget is that sometimes, or most of the times, the rich get richer. And how do they get richer? They get richer because they get the most opportunities, which is odd. That's how it works out, really. You struggle and scrape. You really go out of your way to try your best to hustle when it comes to your life and shit. But really and truly, the opportunities that you want when you're struggling or coming up, they only really get presented to people who already made it. You don't really get those opportunities. That's why usually you see the same people at the same events, the same people at this stuff, the same people getting seeded, whatever. You don't really see new people because the rich always get richer. So weirdly enough, even though the rich have the most money, if somebody keeps offering you more money, you're going to take it because, you know, you need them. You need it. Why not? I'm going to fucking take it because I need it. Or because you're giving it to me anyway. Why the fuck not? When really and truly, I'd understand this Riyadh Comedy Festival more if they book people who are like not that well known, who need the money. But then again, if you're the Riyadh or if you're the Saudi government and you're trying to increase tourism to your country, you wouldn't hire some open micer to come and do your thing because no one gives a fuck about them. You're hiring these people because they're international names, because they're gonna sell that bitch out, blah de blah blah de blah. Anyway, last clip on this is regarding the Joe Rogan experience when Tim Dillon was on there the other day, and again he speaks a little bit about his decision to perform in the for the Saudis. But in this particular clip, he makes a point of like stressing that performing for the Saudi government, he's not scared about performing for the Saudi government, but he's more scared about having dinner with Peter Thiel or Peter Thiel. So interesting little contradiction there. But let's play the clip anyway.
And I want that to be
misunderstood.
I want it to be destigmatized.
Right. If Satan could go on the Nelk Boys, maybe they could straighten it out.
That's right. Peter Thiel on the Nelk Boys, when they go, what do you think about fast food? And he goes, I take one pill every day to survive. And it gives me all of my nutrients.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Peter Thiel eats food like a person. I think it's like he has some type of,
what? What do you think?
I think a lot of these tech people, like, they don't like food. They're not food people, a lot of these tech people. I went to a few of these tech things in Austin. It's not, the food's never the thing. They're not like food people. They're not like, ooh, let me eat food. Like wasps are not either. Like real old school, like waspy.
Didn't you get invited to have lunch or something, or dinner with Peter?
Yes, I said no.
Did you?
I said no. I'm a little wary of that circle of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying there's anything inherently evil about them, because obviously there's people in there. I don't know that I want to go to a dinner with someone who's going to talk endlessly about the Antichrist.
But yet you'll go to Saudi Arabia.
Exactly.
Of course.
And perform.
Of course.
Exactly. Look at the hypocrisy. So you're scared of Peter Thiel, but you're not scared of the Saudi government who've literally murdered people. Don't get me wrong, Peter Thiel's probably murdered people too, I'd assume. But the Saudi government have definitely murdered people, and you're not scared of them.
I've been to Peter's house twice.
Yeah.
I went once with dinner with...
By the way, that's an interesting development. Rogan's been at Peter Thiel's house, which probably explains the softball interviews that he gives Peter Thiel, right? And the fact that he doesn't really push back on him at any point, doesn't really, ask questions, just seems to be like two guys hanging out because they're actual friends. So he's been to his house a few times. Interesting. He's definitely cozying up with the oligarchs, Al Rogan is, isn't he?
Eric Weinstein, I forget who else. And then the second time he brought me in because they were going to have lunch with Eric Von Daniken.
Oh, the guy, the Chariots of the Gods.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah. I'm in. And I know so much about that.
Yeah.
So I was asking him all these questions.
I'm sure he's a very nice guy. Like Peter Thiel. People
He is
that
a nice
know
guy.
him
I've
go,
had
he's
him
a
on the
nice guy.
podcast.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
I get invited to a lot of dinners and a lot of things. And what I try to do is I try to say to myself, I need to be able to criticize people and make fun of them.
Right.
So, it felt like really weird to go to this guy's house and then shit on him the next day.
Again, doesn't make any sense. He's okay to go to perform for the Saudi government, but then feels a bit scared to go perform for okay to perform for the Saudi government, scared to go and hang out with Peter Thiel at his house because it might affect the way that he jokes about him. But he's joking about the Saudi government. He's taking the piss out of some of their crimes against humanity and shit. He's taking the piss out of some of the people that they might have murdered. Like, Jesus Christ, I don't know. The contradictions and the hypocrisy are all over the place. I guess it's a good thing that at least he's honest and he comes up and like, I don't think you're ever going to hear a single comedian speak as honestly as Tim Dillon has about why he actually decided to accept that gig at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. At least he's honest enough to say, hey, I'm accepting it because these motherfuckers are paying me a bunch of money. You have to kind of respect that at least. The other comedians are going to give you a lot of spiel about this and that and make, try and make light of it, which makes no sense. I really actually want to hear Pete Davidson's point of view because there has been that meme, there has been that thing people have been saying about, oh my God, your dad died in 9/11 and now you perform for the people that may have killed your dad. Right? There is that thing I've been hearing people saying online. So I'd love to hear him respond to that. Like, why, like, has he seen that? Is that okay? But yeah, I don't know. It's a strange thing. Interested regardless. And I would love you to think about what your number is. Because I think we all have one. There are a few of us, myself included, weirdly enough, right? Isn't that fucking convenient? But there's a few of us who are special who don't have a number. I don't have a number. But I think my career has shown that. I think my career or lack of a career has definitely illustrated that I'm willing to sort of like say no, even if it fucks up my pockets. I'm willing to walk away, even if it fucks up my long-term fucking career goals, I'm willing to walk away. And if I don't like somebody, I just won't do it, simple as that. Like, I'm one of those type of people. I can't just put my feelings to one side. Like, if I generally dislike you and I hate you, like, I just can't be seen with you doing anything cool, doing anything fun, money. I just can't do it. So I think that's also a bad thing, though. I'm talking about it like I'm happy about it, but I'm not really. I think maturity and wisdom and growing up as a human being is being able to do that, you know, being able to put the interests of your family, being able to put the interests of your people, being able to put the interests of your own future ahead of maybe your ego and your pride and whatever else it may be. Because that's what it is. Ego and pride won't allow me to kind of, or just, you know, or having morals and principles too. Not even ego and pride. They won't allow me to do certain things, but I'm sure there are most of us out there that probably would, even the ones who are lying. So let me know what your number is. Let me know what your number is. But there is an article here courtesy of Seth Simons. Big up Seth Simons. Big up Seth Simons, right? I haven't heard his name in a long time. He's been a very, 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 very strong critic of stand-up comedians regarding how they act and shit, you know, standard stuff. He's been talking about it for a while. He's a journalist more, so he doesn't do video content, so maybe that's why a lot of his stuff doesn't go viral. But he does talk a lot about comedians and, you know, stand-up comedians, what they do right, what they do wrong. So he wrote this article for his Substack newsletter called Humorism. The title of it is "Here's How Comedians Are Rationalising Taking a Paycheck from Saudi Arabia." So he obviously broke down how everyone's response has been, and I'm curious to see what he wrote. For some reason, he transcribed it. He didn't include the clips. I don't know why. Maybe he doesn't want to get copyrighted, but he transcribed all their answers and didn't actually just put the clips in there. But anyway, let's just check it out anyway. Let's see what he said. Given the apparent tension between Saudi Arabia's notorious human rights abuses and our current crop of A-list comedians' professed belief that art form is a vanguard to liberty, I've been keeping track of what comics booked on the Riyadh Comedy Festival have been saying about it. What I have gleaned, and this is my shock, and this may shock you, is that they are greedy, amoral narcissists who don't believe in anything, let alone what they claim to believe, who they sneer at, a very idea of maintaining any sort of personal value system. Now, I personally don't mind that. I don't really want my artists to believe anything. Like, I'm really strange in that way. I don't want my artist, I don't want my entertainment to believe anything. I want them to be apolitical. I want to go to you for my art, for my entertainment, for my escapism. I don't necessarily want you to espouse or reflect my political views and viewpoints. Now, I do respect people who want that, because those people are very, you know, they're very wedded to their ideas and what they like. So if an artist or somebody that they like doesn't espouse, doesn't reflect the political leanings that they are on, they will stop listening to that person. They'll boycott, which I think is really cool. I think the ability to be able to boycott an entire institution, to boycott an entire genre of music because it doesn't line up to your politics and stuff is fucking admirable. But overall, I would prefer it. I would personally prefer it if artists were apolitical and there was no politics involved in the arts whatsoever, and it was just purely an entertainment thing, so that you could kind of go to it for the escapism nature of it. Yes, some of it may reflect what's going on in the world. They can speak about it, but I don't necessarily want to be preached to, lectured to, you know, told who I should vote for, all this sort of stuff when I go to a show, personally. Let's continue. I would like to share some recent commentary on the subject with you today, arranged from the most sociopathic, he says here, Jim Jeffries, Tim Dillon, to the least sociopathic, but still pretty sociopathic, Mr. Stefano and Mark Norman. Let's start with Jeffries' appearance on the latest episode of Fear of One's podcast. Let's go. The quote: I'm going to this thing in Saudi Arabia. I've been given a bit of grief online, nothing too much. About going to Saudi Arabia, Fear of One says. Jeffrey says, yeah, a few people have gotten into the comics who are going, and the list is big. It's Louis C.K., me, Bill Burr, Fluffy's going, Whitney. I like how he's mentioning all the big ones, by the way. A lot of comics are doing that. A lot of comics are kind of hiding behind the bigger names. So I wonder how the Saudi Arabian government approached it. Did the Saudi Arabian government call up the bigger names, knowing if they get the bigger names on board and then they pitch the smaller ones, they're likely to take it because the bigger names are going to get the arrows? Or did the smaller comedians who are probably more money hungry accept it, and then the bigger names are told and they're like, oh cool, no one's going to come after me because the smaller comedians are doing it? I wonder which, or did they just approach it across the board? But to be fair, I think the Saudi Arabian government or the Middle Eastern people, they know Western people talk a lot of shit. Western people love to get on, like Westerners love to get on our soapbox. We love to rant and moan and complain and hashtag. But when it comes to actually doing the thing that is like turning down the money, most of us can't, you know? I think they know that intrinsically. They know Westerners are full of shit. So if they were to offer some of their strongest, like even a guy like Hassan Piker or stuff, right? Like if he was offered like millions from the Israeli government to shut the fuck up about Israel and stop talking about Zionism and shit, I think Hassan Piker will take the money. He talks a lot about, you know, being a freedom fighter, doing this for the Palestinians and shit, but I kid you not, if Netanyahu himself got in touch with Hassan Piker and said, hey, here's fucking $20 million, tax-free, whatever, for you to shut the fuck up about Israel, shut the fuck up about the IDF, shut the fuck up about Gaza, I think he'll take it. And I think they know that. Anyway, back to the article. Von says, oh, a big festival's going. I didn't even get invited. Jeffrey says, it's called the Riyadh Comedy Festival. And here we go. Andrew Schultz, Aziz Ansari, Bill, wow, we got people. Great lineup too. Jessica Kirsten. Yeah, it's good lineup. I've seen that my comedy it's as good as a lineup as I've seen at any comedy festival. Now people have been going, oh, how dare you go there after, oh, they killed a reporter. That was a big one. There's been a reporter who they killed. You don't think our government's fucking bumped people? Oh, I think Jeffrey Epstein was fucking bumped off. You know what I mean? Again, no one is saying that countries don't bump people off, right? Again, bump people off is a fucking weird thing. What people are saying are the human rights violations that they've enacted, especially the Jamal Khashoggi thing. He was an innocent journalist. He did nothing wrong to deserve that. Zero. Right? Zero. Some people can maybe justify the Jeffrey Epstein killing as well, but maybe he should be tried in a court of law. But nobody's saying that countries don't get people whacked, don't get people assassinated. What people are saying is that Saudi Arabia are clearly doing this comedy festival in an attempt to whitewash the world of their crimes. Because if they keep doing these things and inviting these big guests and having foreigners travel over there to attend these events, it's going to give people the impression that the Saudi government doesn't do the fucked up things that they do. You know? So you are complicit in the essential erasure of some of Saudi Arabian's government's crimes. And again, you're not allowed to care about it, but let's not compare. Let's not do the whataboutisms. I'd prefer if Jim Jeffrey just said, look, I don't give a fuck about what they did to Jamal Khashoggi. It wasn't me. I wasn't in that room. Just say that. You're better off saying it wasn't me. I wasn't in that room. I'm not a journalist. I'll be fine. Saying, oh, our government bump people off too. It's like, that's not really the point though, isn't it? The point is you're participating in this is a form of propaganda in itself. That's the reason why people are upset about it. But whatever. It continues. Jim Jeffries again says, one reporter was killed by the government. Unfortunate. That's an understatement, isn't it? Unfortunate, this fucking reporter that went to the fucking Saudi Arabian fucking government, right? Arrived there in his car, you see him on CCTV, and then allegedly left in a fucking suitcase, right? His body fucking mangled and broken and twisted and fit into a suitcase that was then dumped into the back of a boot of a car. Like, yeah, that was unfortunate. Unfortunate. What an understatement. Unfortunate, but not a fucking hill that I'm gonna die on. Well, that guy's dead, by the way. And I don't know the ins and outs of the government. I don't know what he did. Maybe he deserves to get killed. So then they get into the live golf, right? All the golfers up in Saudi Arabia for a king's ransom amount of money. Everyone's like, how dare they do that after how they treat people and all that type of stuff. And the people are like, all right, they've got Cristiano Ronaldo. He goes over and plays there being paid and he gets extra 100, 200 grand every time he kicks a ball. But people, I don't know what, honestly, I don't understand this defense. Nobody is saying that the other people that do it, there's not other people that do it. Like, just because other people that do it doesn't mean that you're not going to get, like, we live in an interesting world, isn't it? We live in a world where people are willing to sell themselves out. They're willing to do morally questionable things for the sake of a paycheck. But then they're also really pissed off when people call them out on it. If it's me and I'm doing what these guys are doing, you have to understand, you have to accept that you're gonna get killed on social. Now, it doesn't matter in the real world, because in the real world, you're gonna have a couple more zeros added to your bank account. But you know, if you accept this gig, you're gonna get fucking killed. That's okay. You should be okay about that. You should be weighing up your pros and cons and be like, you know what? One of the pros is I get this money. One of the cons is I might lose some fans and I'm gonna get abused for like 2 weeks. That should be okay. What is not okay is accepting the money, but then complaining about the abuse. Motherfucker, like, that's what comes with the gig. Fiovon talks to him and says the following. He was like an SPFA fee, I heard. Even just putting it before the games, they pay him extra to do that. Jeffrey says, so he's living there. He's engaged to his missus, but they've never gotten married, right? He's the first person in Saudi Arabia who's allowed to live in a woman who's not married. They made the exception. They've gone all right for Ronaldo. He can do it. They have a strong rules over there, Von says. So you can be angry at how they treat people, how they treat the reporter. You can be angry at the golfers. You can be angry at things. But what better than basically we are freedom of speech machines being sent over there? They have not one stage asked for what to see our material. They haven't asked. In some countries in Asia, I've been asked for transcripts of what I'm going to say. Ah, so he's trying to say, so he's doing the defense of like, I'm going over there to basically spread the gospel of freedom of speech. I'm going over there to liberate them because I'm going to be allowed to say what I want. Come on, brother. Come on, man. No one's bringing you over there to kind of teach them a lesson on fucking humanity. No one's going over there for that. No one's inviting you there for that anyway. Right. They haven't asked what we're going to do. Let's be fair. They have picked some fucking edgy ass comedians. They've picked if you don't agree with how they run their place, isn't this a step in the right direction? No, it isn't. That's not a step in the right direction. A step in the right direction is for them to answer for their crimes. That's a step in the right direction. That's a step in the right direction. Comedians are the step in the right direction. You are not the fucking frontier. You're not fucking pushing things. You're not doing anything really. Yeah, this is a sign that they're trying to do something different. This would have been the highest ranks of government would have been right. Anything more from Jeffries? Fiavon says to him in reply, and to say things we want and then judge other places. Like I get judging them, but their rules. That's what makes their culture, right? What makes their culture is killing journalists. Okay, we may not agree with some of them, and some of them may deem wrong. But for a country, that's what's going on, right? Now, some of them, I get it. It's like what's wrong. It's fucked up, but sometimes they're just attacking the kind of culture of, I don't know. Fear talking of his ass here. But yeah. Okay, the Tim Dillon one we already read. We don't want to read the Tim Dillon one. We know what he said there. I'm curious to hear what De Stefano's got to say. What's De Stefano? Let's see what De Stefano has to say about it. De Stefano, are you going to Saudi Arabia? Are you going to do that gig? He says, I can't do that, man. I can't do it. Can't take the Saudi money. Can't do it, man. I get it. I can't. De Stefano says, I didn't want to do it either. But my family, I was contemplating. I was like, maybe not. Then Jasmine was like, well, we're getting married. We got the house. Who knows? We'll probably sell it again. I was like, I can't do it. Then she's like, you're going to have to take that fucking money. So Chris De Stefano's wife was the one that told him to go do the gig. Which makes sense. I think most people's wives would probably tell them to go do it. Especially if you got kids and shit. You'd probably be told, hey, look after the family. And again, I don't besmirch anybody, especially a man who's taking that responsibility to look after their family, because we've got enough days out there. So there's men out there who are willing to sacrifice themselves and their reputation for the betterment of their family. Then you've got a lot of credit. I mean, I respect you very highly as a man if you're doing that. So okay, they continue. Starvey says, yeah. De Stefano says, and I was like, okay. Starvey says, you're gonna have a maid that doesn't have access to a passport. De Stefano says, yeah. Starvey says, whether you like it or not, a Filipino woman who's trapped in the desert can never see her family again. Exactly. De Stefano's like, well, what's good about the gig like that for me personally is this one where it's not like there's no question Jasmine can't come. That's funny. That's funny. One of the best things about it is that he can't bring his wife. He's gonna be there by himself. He's gonna get some alone time. Starby says, yes, there's no more endangered species than a mouthy Puerto Rican woman in Saudi Arabia. This episode, it wasn't even a question, because normally when I go overseas, it's like, Jazz, it's like, if you do come, just know you're coming back headless. And Starby says, yeah, that's fucking hilarious. There's definitely, yeah. So that's actually a good one. I don't mind that. What do you say here? I think too, man, with the world the way it is, it's like, that's how I feel. It's like you go down this rabbit holes and you're like, even like, I was giving money to the green initiative, then something pops up where it's like, this is a scam. You're giving money, then you'll try to do the work to look into it, and it's not. And then you just get exhausted. And you're like, dude, I don't know anymore. So he's basically trying to say, I tried to do the right thing. I tried to do things the right way, and it didn't benefit me in any way, shape, or form. It didn't go well. So now I'm going to throw my hands up and just kind of submit to totalitarian rule. I'm going to submit to authoritarianism. I'm going to submit to fucking human rights violations, because why the fuck not? What I think actually happened though, what I think actually happened is this. I actually think a lot of these comedians' brains got broken because of COVID. I think the inability for a lot of these comedians to have access to the cash or have any cash that would allow them to do what they want broke them. Because that's what happened in COVID. During the COVID lockdown, if you had money, you could circumnavigate, avoid COVID lockdown restrictions. You could basically live a life where life was quite normal for you. You could go to certain countries, certain villas, certain resorts, and essentially people were acting as if the world was back to normal. So people got upset that they weren't able to do that, especially comedians. Like, oh man, I don't have the fun to do that. So I think comedians now, especially guys like Tim Dillon, they're like, I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I always have the money to escape when I want to. That's essentially what happened. I think so. I could be incorrect, but I think that's what happened. Which is why you got some of these money-hungry comedians doing what they're doing now. You'll note that Stefano said he didn't want to take the gig, but his wife told him to do so on one episode of History Hyenas released on his. So yeah, okay, so he lied then. On the episode of History Hyenas released this week, featuring Joe DeRosa, he offered a somewhat contradictory take that his family was upset with him for taking the gig. He also struggled mightily to pronounce the word Riyadh, even when it was screened right in front of him, somehow saying it Riyadh. So let's see what he said on his own podcast. In 2 months, I got a show in Saudi Arabia, so I don't know. I don't want any clips to be pop up on the airport. Wait, do you really? He said, yeah, swear to God. They're doing a comedy festival there. Oh God, dude, that sounds awful. That sounds like a terrible idea. You think? Yes. In Saudi Arabia, I mean, you wouldn't go. I said, dude, I mean, you wouldn't do it? That's like saying, just go and bomb. Just don't say anything. Right. I could just go and talk about Puerto Ricans, right? The Rosa says, yeah, no, you wouldn't do it. You know the way you talk for the right number, you wouldn't do it. The says to the Rosa. The Rosa says, dude, that's like saying, dude, I don't know. That's like going through, to me, that's like, you know, there's a nice restaurant, but you got to walk through a real bad neighborhood to get there. I don't know. It's not really the same thing, is it, Joe DeRosa? Joe DeRosa sounds a bit dumb here. So you wouldn't feel comfortable being over there. I would not feel comfortable going to a region of the world personally. No. Right now, no. But they say Saudi Arabia is very safe. But what do you cross through to get to Saudi Arabia? Yeah, good point. You're going to a country that looks good on the surface, but there's a lot of horrible things happening in the country. But also this is how you succeed there. Do you know the jokes you do in your group chat about Jews? Yes, tell those and you'll be fine. Well, I said to my agent, I was like, I'm gonna bomb bad. They were like, they won Americans Comedy over there. They have a base of 5,000 US troops. I didn't know that. Okay, cool. Riyadh, Saudi Arabia is huge. Kevin Hart's going, Tom Segura, me, Sam, Tim Dillon. Is Tim going? So Tim, yeah. Riyadh Comedy Festival. I guess if these guys are all going, that's a good gauge of it. It'll be okay. Jesus Christ. That was released August. So yeah. So a lot of these comedians don't give a fuck, basically. A lot of them really don't care. So I guess it is what it is. But when it happens in the DJ world, people go fucking nuts. People go so fucking crazy when this happens in the DJ world. So I'm curious to see when it does kind of pop up again in the DJ world, what will happen and how people will react to it when they hear it. How people will react to it when they hear it. Okie dokie, let's move on. Big up SubwayTakes. Big up bloody SubwayTakes. SubwayTakes interviewed the person behind the Instagram account, the popular Instagram account called Berlin Club Memes. I haven't checked out Berlin Club Memes in a fucking long ass time, actually. I used to always like checking it out, you know, to check out all the fucking latest Berlin Club Memes. I haven't checked out that particular Instagram in very, 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 very long. And I'm quickly going to get this up on here on my screen to see what they've been saying, because it's been a long time since I've actually been on that fucking page and account to see what the vibe is. But essentially, they love to like talk about, you know, Berlin club culture stuff and do really cool memes that I think are really super, super funny. For the longest time, I can't lie, I always thought the person behind this account was a girl. Maybe not a girly girl, maybe like a lesbian or something. But I didn't think it was a dude. Not gonna lie. I really honestly didn't think it was a dude. I honestly thought it was a girl that was involved in this fucking account. But I guess it's not. I guess it's not. I guess it's not. I guess it's not. So let's check out what they have to say. This is a hot takes with Kareem Raham or Rama. It's actually good to party for 72 hours. A fucking interesting hot take, but especially for Americans, because you're not used to that level of partying. I think even us in the UK, we're not even used to it. It's a very particular Berlin and probably maybe Amsterdam situation, but they party out there for the longest time. The most popular club out there, which is Berghain, sorry, it's literally open until Saturday evening all the way until Monday morning. So people love to party really, really hard. So let's actually see what these guys are saying here about it.
So what's your take?
It's actually good for you to party for 72 hours.
100% disagree. It's not good.
By the way, he's in Berlin too. I wonder if we're going to get more, hopefully we get more fucking clips of him doing interviews with other people on fucking Berlin subways or train stations during this time, because I'd love to hear what the other opinions are. I'm sure he filmed a bunch of stuff. It's not the only things. I'm sure there's more stuff happening, but this is pretty cool. He's on the U-Bahn doing these subway takes. It's pretty cool. I think he came to the UK too one time, but let's see.
For you to party for 72 hours.
But here, you're in Berlin here, you know?
Yeah, I know I'm in Berlin. What does that have to do with anything?
Everyone parties for 72 hours here.
Can I just go out for like 2-3 hours, have a couple drinks?
No. I mean, I'm up already for 72 hours.
You've already been partying for 72 hours?
Yeah, that's where I'm wearing the mask.
That's why I'm wearing the mask, of course. To be fair, he does look like it. Even through the mask, you can tell he's been up for 72 hours, right? Even through the mask, you can tell that this man has been up for a long ass time. You could tell. You know, the nails are a bit chipped. The face is looking a bit haggard and weathered. You can definitely tell he's been up for 72 fucking hours. I personally think based on his arms and his hands and his face and the tone of his voice, he definitely feels like to me that he's maybe a little bit too old to be wearing a balaclava. I'm not going to lie. A balaclava for a white person is like wearing a fucking shiesty for a black person, right? Balaclavas are like white people shiesties. I think he's too old to be wearing a shiesty. I'm not going to lie.
Are you tired?
No, it's just starting now. It's Friday.
So when did you leave your house?
Wednesday.
When are you going to go home?
Probably Monday.
So what?
I love it. I love it. And it can actually happen though, right? You can actually, that's actually one of the sickest things about Berlin clubbing. You could actually not go to your house for 3 days. And most of it kind of is because you end up going to other people's houses. You end up doing afters at other people's houses. Or sometimes you end up doing lock-ins in the club, which are usually quite fun too. You end up staying inside the club, just hanging out with other people for a long ass fucking time. And then by the time, you know, you leave, there's another party happening and you go there. So it just non-stop. But one thing that's good about it, I think as well, is there's a focus on the partying side of things. So there's a focus on obviously doing drugs and drinking, but there's a focus on the rave, which is really fun because it takes away the focus on what you look like, on the outfits and shit, on looking a certain way. It's all about the party, which obviously gives the parties a different type of feel, obviously as well because of the no fucking camera policy that helps to fucking make people less self-conscious and less worried about their phones and just enjoying the moment on the dance floor. And you know how people now are doing this whole like anti-phones on the dance floor thing? That's the thing over there from Daydot because it applies across the whole club. Because I think the only time really, if you're snooping like me, if you're a little bit weird like me and you like to fucking snoop locations and snoop the geotag locations on Instagram stories of certain clubs around the world, especially places like Berghain, the only time you'll see people taking pictures in Berghain is when they're in the toilet cubicles because there's no security usually there. And you can usually maybe sneak, pull the camera off a little bit, snap a little fucking selfie and then keep it moving. But that no camera policy across the board ensures that everyone in the club is just focused on raving and getting fucked up or fucking each other and shit. Which makes less focus on the clothes and what you look like. So if you have been out for 3 days and you look like shit, no one's gonna tell you. No one's gonna care. That's a good thing. Me personally, I think if I did for 3 days, especially now because I'm so in tune with my fucking skincare regime, I think I would personally have a little side bag with the fucking toner, with the fucking cleanser, with some fucking serum, with some vitamin C, with some face moisture. Like I would be that kind of weirdo. I would have a little fucking, I'd have a little refresh go bag. I'd have a little deodorant in there. I'd maybe have a one vest. I'd have one of those those shrink wrap, those vests that you can get that I like shrink wrap. I have one of those in my bag just in case I can just, you know, just to give myself a refresh, because that's really important, especially being a big black man like myself. Like, we sweat, we leak differently than other people. I think white people can get away with it a bit more. I think a black person can start stinking after a day or two. I think white people, it takes a couple of days more. So you can probably get away with that. But me, I would want a bit of a spruce up. But we're all different, I guess. We're all different.
What do you do in 72 hours of partying?
When you sit around, you ride the train, listen to music, then you go to a club,
And then?
then you go to an after hour,
And after hours, and then?
then you go to a club again,
Okay.
and then to the next after hour.
And you keep doing that?
You just keep doing that.
To be fair, when I did the last time, because I haven't really done that, because I've been quite well behaved and normal and boring. I just keep going to the events when they open, leave, come back, sleep at the Airbnb, wake up with another event. But when I was doing this whole, like, you know, going from place to place, spot to spot, which kind of relates to that famous Lady Gaga clip, right, where she's talking about raving. Actually, let's see if I can get that up. There's a famous Lady Gaga clip where she talks very enthusiastically about club hopping. That's legendary. I think that's what he's trying to get the back of. Let's see if I can find it. Lady Gaga party, another party. Let's see if I can find that clip. That, I think, is that the one? Maybe that's the one. Nope, it's not there. There you go. No sleep. Is that the one? Nope, still not there. This one? Maybe this one. Bear me 1 second here if I can get it. Up, still can't find it. Is that the one? There you go. There we go. Here, this might be it.
And leather every night. No sleep. Bus, club, another club, plane, next place. No sleep, no fear. Nobody believed in me. That album was not made.
I love it. I love it. So fucking good. So I think that's the mantra. That's the philosophy that Belinda's basically live by. You know, that's the mantra they live by. And for me personally, when I did it, I really enjoyed more so walking between the two places. I like the fresh air because I'm big on that. That's why I usually like to cycle to clubs and shit. It's quite nice actually to when you're fucked up and you're cycling and you get that fresh air blowing in your face. It kind of helps to sober you out, mellow you out a little bit, get you less yacked up. But going in a train and going quickly there, obviously trains in Berlin are good because some of them are 24 hours, not all. So you can get a train in places. But I actually prefer just walking from place to place, you know? Especially if they're near each other, or maybe getting a bus so you're still outdoors and not underground and shit. But everyone's different, so let's continue what he's talking about here.
But why is that fun?
I didn't say it's fun.
So why are you doing it?
Someone has to do it, no?
Someone has to do it.
To keep club culture alive.
So
That's actually true. That's what we're doing, actually. We're being selfless, right? We're not actually doing this because we want to party. We're doing it because we want to keep club culture alive. We're doing it to fight against gentrification. Not because we not even because we want to keep the clubs alive, just because we hate gentrification so much. That's basically it. Or we love club culture so much. Like, you know what? What we're doing here, with every bump that I take, I'm fighting against the system. I'm fighting against the government. I fucking love it.
you're the guy.
I'm the guy.
What happens at the club other than dancing?
Sitting around.
Do you have a wife or a husband or a boyfriend or a girlfriend?
Oh yeah, I met my wife at the after hour.
What are you doing after this?
Probably going to an after hour.
It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, it's a good time.
To go to an after hours?
What are you usually doing in the afternoon?
Laying on my bed looking at my phone?
By the way, one of my things I used to love about after hours back in the day, I used to really enjoy clearing a room. I don't do it nowadays because I think sometimes people don't, you know, they take what you say too seriously and they think the words that come out of your mouth are your true opinions or yourself, whatever, boring. But I do remember loving to clear the room. And what's clearing a room? Clearing a room would involve having a debate in the kitchen, right? You have a debate. Somebody's talking about, let's say a hot button topic like gentrification. Or at that time, I think it was a topic regarding like, nowadays it's not an issue because I think every club has really good ones. But back in the day, there was a big conversation around the lack of diversity when it comes to genders on lineups. So you'd have those conversations, right? And you'd be talking about it, and then I'd argue for not having gendered-based lineups. I'd argue for merit. I'd argue for, you know, not just including people based on, you know, the gender they're born, and just including people based on if they're good or not. And it would obviously clear the room because people don't agree with that sort of thing, right? Everybody's about inclusion in that sort of space. So that was kind of fun. I'm not going to lie. It's really fun to do that sort of stuff. because usually in those places everyone kind of agrees with everybody. It's just boring, isn't it? It's just like everyone's repeating the same things but using different words. It's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna actually say that gentrification isn't always that bad. And let's see what happens. Let's see if I either clear the room or get told to leave the home.
Or eating lunch or taking a walk?
That pretty much sounds like an after hour, but there's more people there. Welcome to Berlin.
I mean, I would come with you.
You want to come tonight?
I would come tonight.
Nice.
You seem normal and chill.
Oh, you too.
To be fair, after hours are fun, but I think they're also only fun when you're in that particular, I don't know, there's a phase for them. Nowadays, I couldn't imagine going to one. Not interested in the slightest. I want to preserve the memory and the experience of the rave and just go home and sleep. Or just go and get a don on the way back. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, I'm thinking about the don I'm going to have on the way back. Like I can't wait to have that. Do you know what I mean? If you go, oh yes, can't wait to have that. As opposed to like going to an after. It's not really that big of a deal. If I have any fucking drugs left with me, I'll just finish them at the Airbnb when I get back home. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to be surrounded by strangers doing it. I don't need to have fucking bullshit conversations about the scene or about Palestine. Or I don't want to have that. I'd rather just sit at home in the Airbnb watching videos on my fucking iPhone on YouTube and just chill, and then sleep in an upright position, wake up, shower, and then do it again. You know, that's way more fun than to be in an afters. I'm not gonna lie, not that fun. But I think if you're in an age where the afters are fun, you should do them, because sometimes if you're more sociable than I am, or if you're a better networker than I am, you can sometimes end up meeting people that can change the course of your life when it comes to your career. Networking with some good people, especially nowadays, because everyone involved in nightlife is trying to get involved and do something. So maybe afters nowadays are a little bit better, more, you know, for like those possibilities of meeting somebody that you may end up collaborating with in the future, somebody that might end up being your boss, somebody that might introduce you to somebody else, somebody that might get you into the scene circle, inner circle of people that do certain I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean. So nowadays, if you're young enough or if you're still in the scene and you want to do it, I think going to afters is a good idea. But for me, I do actually enjoy the solitude that comes with walking home by yourself. I enjoy the solitude of waiting outside the club for an Airbnb. I'm for an Uber to come. I enjoy because obviously when you're in a club, you get all that fucking stimuli and people coming after you and talking and you're interacting. It's fucking great and fun. I love it. But once that's done, it's done. I don't want to, I don't want that stimulation to carry on at home. Personally, for me.
Normal and chill guy.
I'm a chill guy, yeah.
Well, guys, I will let you know how it goes after
72 hours.
72 hours. 72 hours.
And by the way, I loved how they do it. They did it too. In between this SubwayTakes interview, I really want to do this one day, to be fair. I really want to do this. Hopefully, if I ever can make it to New York or he comes back to London, I can do it one day. But there's actually a really good one too. There's one in Germany called Trash Can Talks as well that I actually might do. If I end up going to Berlin again, I probably will reach out to that guy and see if I can get on it. It's a really cool concept where he sits on top of trash cans essentially, and they have the same sort of thing. Trash Can Takes. But I think that one's more of an interview. I think that might be more of an interview. But I'll show you that later. But what I liked about this is that, if I remember correctly, they posted a Zoe Kravitz interview right after this. So they actually did take 72 hours. So I doubt he actually went out and raved with the guy. But I'll show you the following clip. But there was a clip in between. And then 72 hours later, they did release this one, which is a follow-up of them on the train after, many afters and hours and stuff. But they don't look like they went anywhere, to be fair. He would look way more haggard than this if he did go somewhere. I still think it's good to party for 72 hours. So let's see. This is the follow-up.
So what's your take?
It's still the same. I think
I like the sniff. I like the iconic sniff. I love the iconic sniff. As he's just about to start talking, I love the fucking iconic sniff. That was fucking brilliant. That was really fucking good. That's really smart. I like that. I like that little sniff, that little detail. That's how you can tell someone's been out a long time. You know what I mean? The sniffs, the fucking unconscious wipes of the nose, the fidgeting, the eyes darting around the place. Fucking good.
partying for 72 hours is not harmful at all.
100% agree. I love.
What did you say, sorry? What?
I said this is fun.
Yeah, this was amazing.
There's nothing worse than being in afters with people like this and you're not drunk or high. I admire people that do this. Honestly, big up the people that do. There are most people I think that rave sober just go to raves and treat them like gigs and go home. But there are some freaks who stay out and go to afters and stuff with people and they're completely sober. You are a legend. You are legendary. if you're able to go out and hang out with these people when you're stone cold sober, and they're having these conversations where everyone's interrupting each other, people are going on nonsensical monologues and shit. Wow.
Last night was awesome. Wait, was it last night or 2 nights?
Totally.
100% agree.
What did you like most?
Party, sit around with friends, take the Uber, get some food, party, after hours. What time is it?
Oh, I think it's time to go out again, no?
What are we doing after this?
I think let's go to Sisyphus.
100% agree.
Nice.
You know what? I think it's changed too. I'd love to hear from Berliners in the stream chat, or maybe in the comments later when I clip this up. What's happened to spatty culture? I feel like I don't really hear people talk about spatkuffs, right? The newsagents. Even when I went there, I didn't really see a lot of people sitting outside of them anymore. Is that kind of gone? Is that dead? Or was that never a thing? Maybe I just noticed it because when I was going over there for the first time, I was like so enamored by the idea of like having a chair and sitting in front of an off license and getting drunk and going to a party afterwards and bumping into new people that meet you at the table. But I feel like nowadays people don't really hang out at the Spat Club anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. When I went there last, I just saw a lot of like alcoholics. I didn't see a lot of like party people. Maybe that culture's gone. Because even they mentioned there, they didn't really mention the spatty. They just mentioned going to a club, going to a train station, going to a club. They didn't really mention the spatty's usually where I like to go, or sometimes to the river to go get some top ups of drinks and shit. To the weaver, how you fucking pronounce that word? But I guess maybe it's not.
What did I take last night? What did I take last night?
Huh?
What did you give me last night?
Not what's your take, but what did I take?
What did I take last night? Seriously.
I didn't give you anything.
I don't feel good.
You look great. You look
Stop
amazing.
filming for a
You
second.
look amazing.
I love this, by the way. That's really true. That's actually true. There's always a really crazy invasion of fucking personal space when you're smashing drunk. This is how you can tell somebody's really fucked up, isn't it? Invasion of personal space, right? The confidence to say maybe the most outlandish and crazy things, or to be really reckless. That's definitely a byproduct of being maybe a little bit too fucked up and going a little bit too crazy when it comes to all this shit.
I don't feel good.
Well, let's talk off.
I think we should go to the airport.
Yeah, let's go to the airport.
No, you don't.
Oh, I love the difference, by the way. That's really cool. That's a really cool little editing, honestly. Good attention to detail. I love that their fucking Urban passes, right? Their little train ticket things are now rolled up. Before the train ticket thing was flat, now it's rolled up. That's probably a sign that you've done something, or maybe the key's full of fucking dust and shit. Look at that. I love that little detail. That's a really, really funny. Really, really cool.
I think we should go to the airport.
Yeah, let's go to the airport.
No, you don't need to come with me. I think I'm gonna go home.
Nah, come on.
I'm freaking out.
Easy.
I'm freaking out right now.
No, it's alright.
I think I know that guy.
Huh? Oh, from yesterday.
Or are we going to Sisyphus?
Yeah, we go to Sisyphus or Berghain or something.
Oh, Sisyphus, yeah. I think Kata Blues had a fucking revamp in it. I've heard about Kata. Maybe I'll play that next. Kata Blues had a bit of a revamp. They've kind of had a bit of a rebrand. Sisyphus still doesn't get the love it deserves, man. The duck, right? The place with the duck and shit. People don't really love that place anymore. I like it because obviously the little small rooms. I also like it because everyone in there is dressed differently. It's quite nice to go to a Berlin club and people have normal outfits on. No one's just wearing black and latex and fucking harnesses and chokers. People are just, some people in tracksuits, red dress, three-piece suit or suite. That's actually kind of cool. But people don't really like it too much. Maybe it's to do with the music only. Maybe it's some music, but I do like that they have a very eclectic and wide-ranging group of DJs that play there, all over the world, all types. So that makes it interesting.
Something.
I think partying for 72 hours is completely healthy.
100% agree. We started at Kit Kat Club, no? Then we went to Club de Visionäre. Then we went to...
Oh, Club de Visionäre, so good. Ugh. I have so many legendary moments, so many legendary memories of that place. Maybe I'll do a Patreon for that one. Club de Visionnaire is fucking great, especially for house and shit. Oh, so fucking good. Did they have a... Let me see if I can get it up on here. Let's see if I can get Club de Visionnaire available on here. But Club de Visionnaire is so fun, bro. Club de Visionnaire. How do you spell it? Yeah, Visionnaire Instagram. Let's see if I can find it. But it's on the river. It's by the river. You see it. It's out. It's kind of mostly outdoors because the inside of the club is really fucking small. But I love the vibe, man. It's fucking brilliant. And mostly it's house music, to be fair. Some disco too, but mostly house music. It's such a fucking vibe. Let's see if we got a video of it, right? This is the video of it. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. It just looks cool inside, doesn't it? With the red lights, you see the DJ playing right there in front of you. Like they got a fucking rotary mixer there as well. Like it's fucking sick. Honestly, one of my favorite places to go to. I love that place. And it's really small too. I think that main room might fit like 100 people. And then on this side is where the people sit on the outside, so you can hear all the music playing because they've got speakers on the outside wall. But that main room is like it's probably like 100 people, maybe less. No, maybe 50 anyway. To be fair, maybe even 100. And there's a disco ball there, low ceilings too. So if you're tall, you can touch the ceiling. They got a bunch of smoke being popped in there as well. It's fucking cool. I love the place. I honestly do love it. Last clip from there. Yeah. You can't go wrong, man. You really can't go wrong. You really can't go wrong with a bit of club division there. Under Berlin, they usually have good clips of clubs and stuff here. They got Sunwaves clip there. Any more club division clips from them? No more club division clips. But yeah, it's fucking brilliant. I love that space. Really want to go back there soon, actually. Want to go check out that fucking place soon. Let me see if there's any more clips here from the recent bit. But yeah, look at that picture. Look how beautiful it looks on the outside. So fucking cool. And I think that's the bar, right? I think that might be, no, that's not the bar. That's where you see the DJ actually playing. Sorry, there's like a little hole here. You can see them playing. People put their drinks here on the side as well and chill. I think that's a really cool layout for a club. It's really, and I wonder if acoustically, that's the reason why it sounds so good in there, because it's all wooden. I didn't actually clock it before, but it's all wood on the inside. Maybe that's why acoustically it sounds so fucking good in there. Maybe the speakers also help, but it sounds so good, so good. Cool, and then yeah, that's the looks of the club in there. Yeah, man, you can't go wrong, really. You can't go wrong with a little bit of fucking club. That must be fun too, if you're a DJ, right? Looking out of that little window and seeing people fucking going crazy out there. That must be such a good feeling, man. Yeah, I ain't mad at that. Oh, I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that all in the slightest. I ain't mad at that. So yeah, big up club division there. Big up Blood Club Division there. Definitely gonna check back that place very, 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 very soon. But let's just finish this hot text thing. Where's the hot text clip? Where is it again? Did I put it there? Where is it? SubwayTakes, where are you? Where are your SubwayTakes? Oh, did that? Maybe I X off it. Maybe I gotta go back. I might X off it in the accident. There you go. Boom. Let's go back and see how they finish this SubwayTake. 72 hours after. 72 hours after. Let's see how they finish this.
Anything.
I don't feel good.
You look great. You look amazing. You look amazing.
I don't feel good.
Well, let's talk off.
I think we should go to the airport.
Yeah, let's go to the airport.
No, you don't need to come with me. I think I'm gonna go home.
Nah, come on.
I'm freaking out.
Easy.
I'm freaking out right now.
No, it's alright.
I think I know that guy.
Huh? Oh, from yesterday.
Where are we going? Sisyphus?
Yeah, we go to Sisyphus or Berghain or something.
I think partying for 72 hours is completely healthy.
100% agree. We started at KitKat Club, no? Then we went to Club der Visionäre. Then we went to Tresor. Tresor was fantastic, no? Did you like the DJ? What was your favorite toilet? We went to a few toilets, huh? I really love hanging out with you. Let's do it again tonight, no?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
We got a couple more hours. I'll catch up with you guys later.
See ya. I think people looking at us.
I think so too.
I really, honestly, like, there's honestly nothing like the fucking friendships and the conversations that you have when you're fucked up and high people. It's honestly truly special because it's so close. It feels so real. It feels so deep. But it's only in that moment because after the fact, you try and make these people up again, you try and speak to them again, you get left on scene, you don't get replied to, you get, you know what I mean? It's just a bit sad in that respect. But in the moment, it's pretty fun. In the moment, it's pretty fun. I think you should obviously enjoy it while you're young, get the most out of it, get out of your system. And I think in general, going back to the fucking question, it's good to party for 72 hours. I think it is. I think it's good to get out of your system. I think it's good to know that you can do it also. And I think it's also important to go to places like that, like Berlin, that care a lot about, club culture and dance music, we take it very seriously, so you can see how it's done. You don't have to enjoy it, but I think it's important to go at least once. You don't have to go to even Berghain. I always say to people always ask me advice and DM me and say, oh, how can I do this? It doesn't really matter. Berghain's not really the important thing. Obviously, trying to get into it is important. Even if you don't get in, the story is also important for your law and your whatever. You can go back home and tell your friends and family that I got rejected from the best club in the world. It's still part of, it's still a win. But I think the important thing is just to go and to experience what it's like, to experience what it's like, to see how people treat club and how people interact with dance floors, how people just go out in the first place, how people fucking get dressed, all that stuff is really fucking important. Maybe that would then play into how you do it when you go back home, but it's just good to know and good to see how it's done on the highest level. It's like, I'd imagine it's like people that like to go gambling or like to gamble. It's probably important if you're a gambler to probably visit Vegas once just to see what that's all about, because that's like the home of gambling, right? They've created this incredible adult playground where if you like to gamble, everything to your heart's desire can be kind of acquired whilst you're in fucking Las Vegas, which is really important too. It doesn't mean you're going to go every year, doesn't mean you're going to fucking care about it, but it is probably important to go. Let me just quickly show you this trash can takes in Berlin as well that I want to go to. I really want to have an interview with them one day when I do end up going there one time. Let's see if I can find it. What's it called? Is it called Trash Can Takes or something? Maybe it's on my Instagram actually. Let me actually see. I'll just check my Instagram. Maybe on my Instagram I've got it saved actually. That might be the best place to check this shit out. Let me see. Let's go on here. Bear me 1 second as I scroll down some of my saved posts, because I've got like a million saved fucking posts on here because I'm a fucking psycho. But I'm pretty sure it's like is it Trash Can Takes or something along those kinds of lines. Let's see if I can find it. Come on, you piece of shit. Where are ya? Where are ya? Where are ya? Okay, cool. We've got Club Air happening actually. Oh, there's a new Club Air actually happening that I might actually check out. When's it happening? It's on the 20th of September. Okay, cool. It's very, very soon. Very, 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 very soon. Club Air is happening. Let's see if we got anything more here. Trash Can Takes. Where are you? Still not here. Still not here. Where is it? I'm pretty sure I clicked it somewhere here. Let me just write trash. Maybe it's right. Trash. Maybe it's here. Trash. Cool. Let's just quickly scroll through. Got the Cater Blue thing happening. No more over here. Bear with me a sec as I scroll. That other pod that I like to listen to is there. Where are you? Where are you, trash can? Where are you, trash bin? When I find the name of it, I'm gonna fucking be so angry because I'm pretty sure I'm close to saying what it is, but I just can't work out what it is. But I'm pretty sure I'm close to saying it. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Trash can, are you there? Trash can, are you there? Nope, 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 nope. It's a blonde guy too. I remember his name. Who hosts the show? Guy with long blonde hair, and they sit on top of a bin and they discuss topics pertaining to fucking Berlin and shit. For some reason, oh, there we go. Found it. Found it. Okay, it's called Trash Can Talk. Big up. This is what I want to do when I go there soon. Big up, big up, big up this guy. It's called Trash Can Talk. This is the account, Trash Can Talk, all one word, on Instagram, and they basically sit down with Berliners and have, conversations regarding some of the best some of the most pertinent topics that are, at the hearts of, at the tip of everyone's tongue over there. One of them being Berghain or KitKat.
Also Berghain oder KitKat?
KitKat.
KitKat oder Sisyphus?
KitKat.
KitKat oder RSO?
Ich glaube RSO.
RSO oder About Blank?
RSO.
RSO oder Watergate?
RSO.
It's RSO, Leute. Also Berghain oder KitKat?
Another one.
Berghain oder KitKat?
Berghain.
Berghain oder Sisyphus?
Kommt drauf an für was. Aber okay, Berghain einfach, weil Berghain.
Berghain oder Katerblau?
Oh, Katerblau.
Katerblau oder RSO?
Katerblau.
Katerblau oder Watergate?
Ich liebe den Kater.
It's Katerblau, Leute.
That's actually a good point this person says here. Problem is in Berlin, if you go just for the music, you got a problem with the dress code. I just want to enjoy the music. How people dress or behave is nothing to care about. That's interesting because there is, even though people don't say there is definitely a dress code in Berghain, right? In other clubs like Sisyphus there isn't, but I'd imagine most people wouldn't wear what they'd wear at Sisyphus to Berghain. Although you should, they probably wouldn't. So that automatically kind of changes things. You know what I mean? It makes it a little bit harder for you to kind of jump around and club hop and shit. It's a little bit annoying. But I do love this fucking concept. I think this is really cool. Let me see if we got another one, maybe an English one. There we go.
Eine Top 3 Clubs in Berlin.
Ich finde, es kommt sehr stark aufs Event.
Actually, no. The one's got German subtitles.
Wie kann man selbstbewusst werden?
Es ist.
Okay, there's not a lot of English people on here, actually.
Feiern gehen, du warst so ganz viel. Was hast du für...
Maybe they might not interview me. It is mostly German people speaking.
Beschreibe mal Berlin in einem Wort.
I don't know. I guess I'll figure it out when I get there.
Heute bin ich in front of...
But I do like it though. I definitely want to go check it out when I'm there very soon. But for now, thank you for tuning in to Excellent Thing Show episode number 939. It's been a pleasure to have your company as per usual. Episode number 939. If you're listening to this via the podcast app, you'll be hearing my tune of the day playing underneath my voice today. My tune of the day will be from the one and only James K. James K, the ephemeral, let's say, I don't know, ambient Charlie XCX. Is that what good way to describe it? Ambient Charlie XCX. Just released a new album called Friend. My track of the day from that particular album is called Doom Bikini. That'll be my song of the day. It's called Doom Bikini, courtesy of James K. Big up James K. Big up everybody tuning in. If you listen to us via the audio app, you'll hear James K playing my voice. If you're watching via the video, you won't hear anything, and it'll fade to black. But thank you for tuning in. Big up, big up, big up. See you guys again very, very soon. Peace.